Ba ma ma. Ba 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 ba. Hello, hello. Good evening. And welcome to another... Actually, it's Wednesday stream. It sounds like it happens often, but I hope it doesn't. It has happened twice though. We're all going to pretend that it is a fine Wednesday. And not Thursday. This is definitely Wednesday and definitely planned. You know. Because I definitely adhere to my schedule. Wow! Hello! Thank you so much for the resub! Woo! Ah, it's 6 months! That is your 6th month! I cannot believe it. You've been here for so long. Hello! How are you? Hamshiro. Yeah! Wait, is the Hamshiro not working or is it just not working for me? Confusion. Confusion. Well, we are here and we are going to date a guy that is totally not a wolf. Just so you know, just so you're aware, he's totally not a wolf. It's working for me. Okay, then that's just me then. This one, right? That's the last save. Ooh, wow. That's loud. One day my mother said to me, oh, it's actually... I'm not used to my games actually being voiced anymore. Like, feels like we've only played games where I either had to say everything myself or I simply talked over them even when I was voiced, like in Nier. Hi! I'm sorry, Mother. I'm sorry I didn't listen. I arrived at a house in the middle of the dark woods near the lake. But no matter how hard I knocked, no one answered. This was definitely the right house. There weren't any others in sight. Hesitantly, I twisted the doorknob. Strangely enough, it was unlocked. The lights were all off, but the moonlight streaming in through the window faintly illuminated the interior. And the instant I saw it, I realized the weight of my sins. If only I hadn't disobeyed my mother and gone astray, I never would have lost everyone I ever cared about. Okay. Hi! Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome! Once upon a time in a looking-glass world, there lived a man known as Red Riding Hood. He carried out each mission with a straight face, no matter how difficult they became, and could always be seen wearing his signature red hood. He was following the Twitch and follow. I don't know! I don't know, but you're here now, so that's all that matters. Twitch does funny stuff sometimes, though. I wouldn't put it past Twitch. Look at that big house! One day it was decided that he would serve as a bodyguard for a young, wealthy woman. She claimed that someone had been harassing her and it had escalated to the point that she received a threatening letter in the mail. Testimony from the rich girl. That day I sat face to face with a steely-eyed police officer. He had paid a visit to my house inquiring after the recent harassment I had reported. Yeah, look at him. Red Riding Hood. Sure thing. Didn't we... Oh, I guess her name is in all caps. Okay, sure. Sure thing. I set my cup of tea back on the table, then balled my hands into fists and placed them in my lap. At first I thought it was all in my head. Starting about a month ago, I would get these weird silent calls 2 or 3 times a day, but whenever I would answer the phone, the person would hang up. After that, sometimes I'd be walking down the street and sense someone following me, or at home I'd feel like someone was watching me. What, you think I'm just paranoid? I furrowed my brows. I wanted to do this before I start. I wanted to look up who voices him actually. Because like I said, these games have a bunch of very big voice actors in them actually. Though I'm looking at his name right now, I have no clue who the guy who's voicing him is, not gonna lie. Tomoaki. What else have you done? You do not ring any bells for me. Mai no Tomoaki is this. Who else did you do? What did you voice? Did you voice anything I may have seen? No. I guess that's why. He has quite a lot of roles. Okay, he did one side character in Haikyuu that I know. That's it. Oh no, he did voice the main character, but I haven't seen... Oh, he voiced several main characters and stuff I've seen. Never mind. I would not have been able to tell that. No. Interesting. Ah. Okay. Yeah, no clue. No clue. He was in quite a lot of things, but I wouldn't have been able to tell you this. Not gonna lie. And I pride myself in knowing quite a few people active in the voice acting industry. So if someone tells me a ghost story, my brain would then be more inclined to interpret a harmless prank as a paranormal activity. He nodded calmly, then glanced around the room. Yeah, my parents are like away all the time, as you know. As it is. You've done your homework, I see. Yes, my parents' jobs have them traveling all over the country, so they're hardly ever home. Wow. Parents not at home? And you're rich? I decided to explain the situation in detail. He must have done a background check on me ahead of time. The police are always so efficient at their jobs. I mean, you're not wrong, but are you trying to suggest I'm a pathological liar or something? Wow, gee. Evidently he was probing me for any strange behaviors. I guess that's just how cops operate, trust but verify and all that. I handed him the letter I had received. So you think I created this blackmail for attention, is that it? Indeed it is. I cannot read that. Warning! You know what you did, now confess or suffer terrible misfortune. I repeat, confess your sin. Next time I won't ask nicely. Signed, the Wolf. Oh. Okay. I think it always looks very nice when you use newspaper stuff to like make something new out of it. Like, yes, it's always used like when you want to hide and not use your real writing and everything, but I still think it looks nice. Why is that? I tilted my head. That is a very high possibility, yes. Oh, I see. Yay, glad to hear. I clapped my hands, glad to be freed from suspicion. You know, I actually really don't remember what the plot of his route was about. I mean, that's good, right? But I genuinely don't remember.
明確な方法で殺害されると大げさに書いた方が効果的でしょう。
Good point, I agree.
ちなみにこの差出し
Look at him, he looks very angry. I'm afraid I don't. I promptly shook my head. I couldn't think of anything I might have done to piss anyone off, much less whoever the wolf was supposed to be.
あの時の罪とは何でしょう。
I wish. I shrugged my shoulders.
そうですか。質問を続けます。あなたは誰かに何か
It's like
恨みを買うよ
it's
うな
so vague. It's like, okay, I've done a lot of things in my life. I have no idea what it could be. No. I shook my head again.
ですが、この文面からは特定の人物への恨みつらみが感じ取れる。
It's like someone telling you, I'm mad at you. Okay, why? I'm mad at you. Well, okay, what did I do? I nearly shook my head a third time, but managed to stop myself. That's the part I'm not supposed to deny. Yeah, I murmured vaguely and took a sip of my
宛名
tea.
が書かれていないので、あなた以外に当てられた脅迫状である可能性もありますが、他のご家族はどうですか？
When I asked them, they all said they couldn't think of anyone.
なるほど。ちなみに、あなたとご家族の関係は良好ですか？
As good as you are when your parents are never home and always, you know, traveling around the country, leaving me all by myself. I mean, I have money, right? I mean, I like to think so at least.
あなたは年頃のあなたを広い屋敷に一人きりにするようなご両親を恨んではいないのですか？
Not really. Granted, I knew my family situation was uncommon, but as far as I was concerned, I was well provided for. Although they lived in another city and were typically hands-off, I received a hefty allowance from them and was generally allowed to live my life freely.
そうですか。
Oh!
では、
Oh, he
お兄
blinked!
様はどうですか？
Oh, that's nice. My brother.
はい。確か、あなたのお兄様はこの近くに住んでいると伺っております。
I have a brother. The policeman fixed me with a probing look. You see, I have a much older brother. We're the typical nuclear family, perfectly ordinary in every way, and we're rich. Wow, you really have done your homework on me. That's a cop for you, I guess. Anyway, yes, my brother does indeed live nearby. He's so busy with work that he opted to rent an apartment closer to his job rather than deal with the commute all the way from our parents' house.
あなたのお兄様をここに呼ぶことは可能ですか？
I guess. For what purpose?
捜査の一環です。
I mulled it over. Perhaps he was having trouble taking me seriously, considering I was only 19. Only 19? I mean, I guess. Technically, you're an adult, right? Oh, well, I guess in Japan, you would not be considered an adult yet with 19. True that, I guess. I understand where you're coming from, but I just don't think he'll have time. He's a really busy guy.
妹のあなたが危機的状況だというのにもかかわらず
Oh my god! Hi! Welcome! Thank you so much for the raid! Hi! How was your stream earlier? Hey! Let me... Hold up. Let me give you a shout out. There we go. Oh, you were playing Overwatch. Nice. Hi! How are you? You know, that's funny. You switched your timing, timing? Your times, on your schedule and stuff. Thank you so much for the follow, welcome. I did not, but yet I'm still streaming on the same day as you. You want a Pikachu? Okay. A Pikachu for the raiders. Pikachu. Beka beka. Pikachu. Hi. Nope, he'll just say I'm hallucinating. He's not really the type to rush over and rescue me, to be
あ
honest.
なたのお兄様は鬼のように冷たい
Well, he's busy. He absolutely is. Okay, never mind. She actually agrees with him. Okay. Our brother's a heartless monster. Good to know. So cute. I nodded vigorously.
失礼しました。
The policeman took a sip of his tea. Evidently, he felt his statement was a touch improper for someone of his station. Well, I mean, honestly, he doesn't look much like a police officer. His red cape.
とりあえず、あなたの家庭環境はかなり特殊なようですね。
Yeah, I get that a lot. For the record, I do have his phone number, so we could try to call him if you like, but I don't think he'll answer. The policeman pulled out his notepad.
一応控えさせていただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
It's just like when I tried to call my mom. It's like, oh, you can always reach me if it's an emergency, and like I call her, and then she doesn't use her phone. No. It could have been an emergency. Oh well, yeah. Oh sure. I received my brother's phone number, and the policeman promptly jotted it down.
ありがとうございます。助かりました。
He pocketed his notepad and turned back to
それ
me.
で嫌がらせの件ですが、
Right, what do you think I should do?
あなたは何の心配もいりません。あなたの身は私が保証します。
Okay. Ooh, how manly! I gave him the finger gun. The finger guns. Not just any finger guns, the finger guns. A hot guy risking his life to protect his damsel in distress. This is starting to feel like an action movie. No. No. I was perhaps not quite as nervous as I should have been given the situation.
私がここにいるからには、あなたに指一本触れさせません。
Okay, that's
なので、今日からあなたを
a little
24時
much.
間監視させていただきます。
Don't you think? That's not what I was expecting. What? As in 24/7? I stared blankly. 24/7 surveillance with no breaks. Is he going to see me doing you know what? And you want to start today? Wait, so does that mean you stay here for as long as it takes until the culprit is apprehended?
そうです。
In contrast to my concern, he was entirely unruffled. But I'm a woman and you're a
もちろ
man.
ん、プライバシーに関わる部分はこちらもできる限り配慮します。
And also, you need to sleep. How are you going to give me 24/7 surveillance on your own? Right. It's not my privacy I'm worried about per se. This is all too sudden. Is this real life? No, it's a video game. Look, don't you think maybe this is a little drastic?
何を悠長なことを言っているのですか。あなたは脅迫状まで送られてきた身。何かあってからでは遅いのです。
Okay, but like it's just a letter saying confess your sin, not I will literally kill you. Right. I nodded reluctantly. Some might don't think he's going to take no for an
あ
answer.
なたに傷一つつくことがないよう厳重な警護をするよう上からは言われています。
Okay.
理解してください。あなたを守るためには必要なことです。
Okay. He looked directly into my eyes. Will he go along with this suggestion? Well, I mean, I have to. If we don't, actually we get our first bad ending. I'm just gonna make some new saves for everything, even though technically I have all the saves I need. For sure, yeah. You do that. I don't really want a bad ending right now. Very well then, I'm in UK, officer. I got to my feet and held my hand out for a handshake. As a helpless maiden threatened by some unknown menace known only as the wolf, I could use all the help I could get. He followed suit, rising to his feet.
ああ、申し遅れました。私は警視庁捜査一課赤ずきんと申します。
Completely normal name. He inclined his head politely. Red, is it? Nice to meet you. I wiggled my hand, subtly prompting him to shake it, but he simply disregarded it after a glance. Listen, it's Corona. You don't shake hands. Oh yeah, my name is...
存じております。ミス・アリス。
Huh? Well, now we're introduced, so now what? If he was going to be observing me 24/7, then we need to get him all settled in. Oh, that's right. Will you need to go home and pack a change of clothes?
心配ありません。必要最低限の荷物は持ってきました。
Okay. Oh, I guess you thought ahead. There was the moment I noticed a gingham basket on the floor next to him. Oh, that's cute. Not sure I was expecting that from Mr. Serious Business. Alright, seeing as you'll be staying here, would you like me to include you in my meals?
いえ、結構です。そちらに関しても こちらで用意しております。
Wait, but we don't know how long this will take. How are you going to live on rations? Wow, you really thought ahead. I glanced back at the basket. How can it possibly hold all of that? What about showers? Instead of arguing a point, I decided to move on.
水道水を頭からかぶるか。それがダメなら当分の間入りません。
You will not stink in my home. No. Okay, look, I'm more than willing to let you borrow the tub, so please go ahead and use it whenever you want, seriously. Sorry, but I can't have you going without showers for who knows how long.
では、後でシャワーをお貸し願えますか。
Evidently he knew better than to fight me on this one. By all means, please do. Now then, as for your sleeping
心
arrangements...
配いりません。外で寝るつもりです。
Wait, how are you... I thought you wanted to put me under surveillance. If you're going to be outside, what happens if someone breaks in? Huh? Oh, well, I'll simply also come in. Yamba. What if you don't notice them sneaking in, huh? In winter? It's winter? What?
構いません。
I do. Well, I do. You die out there. This is even worse than a no showers thing. Is it? We have plenty of guest rooms here. You can just use one of those.
私は客人ではありません。
Yes, you are. Same difference. Come on, no need to be shy, alright? I smiled at him,
遠慮しているわけではありませんが。
but he denied it outright. At this point, I was starting to think maybe he wanted to stay as far away from me as possible. Look, did I do something wrong? Do you just hate the idea of being around me more than necessary? I figured I may as well ask him directly. And yet...
好き嫌いの問題ではありません。あなたを守ることが
Okay, but like,
私の任務ですから。
if I'm offering, you can just take the offer. Okay, but what part of that means you have to sleep outside? Is he really that worried about infringing on my privacy?
ミス・アリス。あなたは私のことは気にな
Miss
さらず、
Alice.
お好きなように行動してください。
I still think it's funny that they write it Arisu. Right. I struggled to keep the sarcasm out of my voice. For the sake of my own self-esteem, I'm just going to assume he's trying to be a respectful house guest. Am I still allowed to go outside and stuff?
もちろん。あなたの行動を制限する行為はしないつもりです。ただし、出かける際には私も付き添わせていただきます。
But like, won't we have a problem here? Like, if he stays with us 24/7, that's all fine and well, but how is he going to get more clues if he has to keep an eye on us all the time? Like, unless he has a partner that can help. Is that not a limitation in and of itself? What happened to not infringing on my privacy? So much for that, I guess.
なぜです。
I don't think you can reasonably expect me to carry on with my daily life if you're going to be breathing down my neck the whole time.
そうですか。
Red didn't seem particularly bothered by this. He took a sip of his tea. Would you like a refill?
いえ、結構です。
He set his teacup back onto the saucer, sat up straight, and folded his hands in his lap. I got a distinct sense he was prepared to go without tea for the rest of his life if it meant sparing me the inconvenience. You know, you're a very guarded person. I bet you must get that a lot.
隙があっては職務に差し障ります。
I won't argue there, but still. As I trailed off, Fred promptly changed the subject.
他に何か質問は？
Yeah, sure. What a lovely outfit. You wear it well.
それはどうも。
His composure didn't waver, so I pressed on. Why do you wear that riding hood anyway? Is it actually called that? Like, I never bothered to, like, look it up. It's okay. The story's called Red Riding Hood, but why is it a riding hood? Isn't it just a cape? Is that actually what the thing is called?
いけませんか？
No, of course not. Oh, I know. Is red your favorite color?
それと今回のことについて何か関係があるのでしょうか？
Okay, damn.
ありませんよね。よって質問は却下します。
You don't have to answer. You're the one who asked me to ask you.
何か？
Nothing at all. Having lost the will to argue with him, I slumped my shoulders. He was so frigid, he was practically sub-zero. Feeling like an intruder in my own house, I got to my feet, and he followed suit.
どこへ？
To my room. I sniffed sadly. I wanted a moment to myself, alone.
そうですか。では私もお供します。
Alone! What? I stared at him
言っ
blankly.
たでしょう。私はあなたを護衛するためにあなたを24時間監視すると。
Wait, so you're just going to follow me around the house all day?
もちろんそうです。何か問題ありますか？
Tasukete! Actually, funny story. In the original, where the rest is Japanese, she says all of these just in English. Because Yurika is bilingual, canonically. Which is really funny. It's like when you play this game in Japanese, suddenly you just get a save me. Meanwhile, we get a Tasukete. And a save me in parentheses. In the end, I decided to stay in the living room. If I couldn't have any alone time, then there was no point in going to my room in the first place. Now it was time for dinner. Are you sure you won't have dinner with me?
はい。必要はありません。
The table was laden with tonight's dishes. Fish, potatoes, rice, and freshly mixed salad with a creamy homemade dressing. Naturally, it was all for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was more than happy to cook for the both of us, but as you can see, he refused to allow it. We love canon bilingualism, right? Which more games will do that? Instead, he stood on the opposite side of the room, his hands folded behind his back like a mafia bodyguard. Surely we can come to some sort of compromise here. Look, if you won't let me cook for you, will you at least eat your food at the table with me?
なぜですか?
Because it's nicer? Wait. Oh, last time I did... Why did I do this one last time? Because eating alone is depressing.
私はこの場にいますが。
Yeah, but you're like... on the other side of the room. Alright, in that case, because it's more efficient. I changed tack on the spot. Think about it, I'm going to be dragging you all over the place on my own schedule. Plus some of the spontaneous times I might change up my plans entirely on a whim. With that in mind, don't you think it'll save time in the long run if you plan your meal breaks around mine? Red seemed inclined to agree with this.
確かに一理ありますね。わかり
I
ま
guess
した。
that's why I
では、
did
今後そのようにしましょう。
more efficient last time. Very well then, going forward. Wait, wrong. But just as I heaved a sigh of relief at my narrow victory, he pulled a cylindrical object out of his basket. Is that a tin can?
はい。
That's not your dinner for tonight, is it?
はい。どのような状況でも持ち運びやすく、簡便かつ衛生的な食べ物です。
Okay. The label on the can read mackerel. What a coincidence, I'm having fish tonight too. Do you have anything else to go with that?
それは白米のことですか? それならばありませんが。
Are you sure that'll be enough to fill you up?
ご心配なく。
You don't eat this for every meal of every day, do you?
はい。
That's not healthy! Don't you ever get tired of it?
肉と魚とバリエーションはあります。
Yeah, variation, okay. How many kinds of meat are we talking?
ですから、肉と魚の2種類です。
After a long silence, I turned to him with pleading eyes. I'm only saying this because I care about you as a fellow human being. Please just eat my cooking, it's for your own good. Here, have a seat. I might not have much to offer you tonight, but going forward, I'll factor you into all my meal planning. Hello, good evening. How are you? I got to my feet and put my apron back on.
必要はありません。
You will eat my food whether you like it or not. Oh, for crying out loud, why are you so stubborn? Apparently his curt response had struck a nerve.
それはこちらのセリフです。
His icy tone put a damp on my spirits. Fortunately, it extinguished my anger as well. He's right, I'm the one who keeps trying to force him against his will. I'm sorry, I know I'm being obnoxious. I really don't mean to jump down your throat about this. Sorry.
気にしていません。
Oh, cool. So does that mean I can keep on being obnoxious? At my challenge, Red's eyes narrowed. In response, I smirked. It was possible he would start to hate my guts, but that was a risk I was prepared to take. Look, Red, are you absolutely sure you won't eat my cooking?
どうしても食べるつもりはありません。
But I want you to eat it.
なぜあなたが私に強いるのか。
Because it's nice to cook for someone. Isn't it obvious? I want to get to know you better.
相手に無理強いすることは嫌われる行為だ
Also,
とわからないの
look
です
at
か
that. He has bags under his eyes. I'm aware. I'm just choosing to do it anyway. It's a risk I'm willing to take. The question is, do you understand why I'm willing to risk it? What's the best word to describe the situation? Stalemate? Touch and go? You want to have a glaring contest with me? Well, knock yourself out. Fair warning though, I'm not going down. Sure enough, after a period of prolonged eye contact, Red averted his gaze.
わかりました。これ以上あなたと争っていても不毛だと。
Ha! I win! I'm glad you understand. I tightened my apron strings, all the while fist bumping internally. Okay, I'll whip you up something real quick, just sit tight. I turned and headed for the kitchen as fast as my feet could carry
あな
me.
たの分が冷めますよ。
I don't mind. Just then I stopped and turned back. Actually, I've got an idea. How about you eat the food on the table there? That way we both get to have a hot meal. See? Very efficient.
そうですね。
He sighed, got to his feet, and sat in my chair instead.
それではいただきます。
Eat. Eat, little boy. Sure thing. Bon appetit. Oh, maybe she's actually trilingual. Ha ha ha. Nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 nom. Red proceeded to eat my cooking in perfect silence. Until he noticed my gaze. You wear your riding hood when you eat too?
はい。
Oh, that's interesting. This person chooses the exact opposite of what I did last time. Why? Okay, well. Oh, cool. After a moment, he fell still.
ミス・アリスは料理がお得意なんですか？
Huh? I don't know if I'm skilled at it, but I do like it. It kind of feels like I'm doing science, you know? Plus, once you're done, you get to eat a tasty meal. At this question, I began to babble excitedly.
そうですか。
Yeah. I finished my speech with a bright smile. I'm not good at cooking. I'm good at baking, but I'm not good at cooking. I also don't get a chance to cook often, so it's like, meh. And that's where the conversation ended. So, what brought that on?
特に意味はありません。
Oh. It was the first time he'd asked me a personal question, but that happiness was short-lived. I can't back down here, otherwise we won't get anywhere. I need to keep asking questions until something sticks. Do you like it?
おいしいと答えれば気がお済みですか？
That would be nice. Generally, it's helpful to motivate a cook with a few words of encouragement. Insults can be sexy too, if that's your game. Okay!
なるほど。あなたは何も言われないことが一番答えるということです。
Yeah. Bingo!
私にはあなたのモチベーションなど関係ありません。
Just say how the food was. Ouch. Stone cold. It felt like a blizzard had descended on the dining room. Oh, that reminds me. I hastily changed tack. Do you have a favorite food?
特にありません。
That's unfortunate. Are you sure? I feel like you hesitated for a second there.
そんなことよりご自身の食事は良いのですか？
I'm going to win in the end. Don't try to not answer my questions. At this, I realized I'd forgotten to start cooking. You're right. Okay, I'm gonna cook something. You take your time, alright? Oh, and feel free to have seconds.
はい。
Eat, little boy. Nah, this is heaven. Relaxing under the hot water, I could feel the fatigue melt away. I guess it's the only time of the day I'll get any peace.
何か言いましたか？
I did not! I could hear it on the other side of the bathroom door. Nope, nothing at all.
何か異常があれば言ってください。すぐに駆けつけます。
I appreciate the offer, but I can't have you rushing in here or else you see me naked. This time I made sure to keep my voice down so he wouldn't hear. True to his word, Red hadn't left my side for the entire day, although he had at least given me the dignity of remaining faithfully outside the door as I changed and bathed it. He's a good guy, though. He was a stubborn man who often took things to the logical extremes, but I could tell he was serious about protecting me from the wolf. Phew, I feel so refreshed. Drying my wet hair, I stepped into the hallway to find Red standing there. Your turn. I guess you to the bathroom, but he shook his head. Well, I do mind, and I refuse to compromise with you on this issue. I glared up at him and he looked away. He's gonna like shower in 2 minutes and be back out. I'm calling it now. Sure, go for it. And so he walked into the newly vacated bathroom. Once he shut the door, I started to head for the living room. But before I got there, I suddenly remembered a critical issue. He doesn't have a towel! I was so used to living here alone, I'd forgotten what it was like to have a guest over. Without a towel, Red would be forced to drip dry. I turned and headed for the linen closet. Back at the bathroom. Red, are you already in the tub? Carrying a fresh towel over one arm, I knocked on the door. No response. Can I come in? Oh gosh, but what if he's in the middle of changing? I pressed my ear to the door but couldn't hear anything. Convinced that he must already be in the tub, I put my hand on the door. Uh-oh! I'm coming in. Whoa! All of a sudden, the door whipped open and I staggered forward. Yeah, I'm fine. I hastily straightened up. Sure enough, he was completely clothed. See? What did I say? What the? How did you finish that quickly? Or did you not get in yet? You're telling me you cleaned yourself in like 2 minutes, huh? I don't trust that. How? How could he have finished within the few minutes it took me to get to the linen closet and back? Talk about a quick dip. Upon further inspection, I noticed that the strands of hair peeking out from under his hood were dripping wet. You're soaked! Sure enough, here he is drip drying. Please use this. I put the towel over his head and moved to dry him off. But instead he jerked away from me, taking the towel with him. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not a wolf. He's not hiding anything under that Red Riding Hood. Nah. Nothing left for my hand to do, I lowered it awkwardly. Meanwhile, Red reached on his riding hood to dry himself off, a feat that took considerable talent. Then he looked at the floor in surprise. Don't worry about it, I can take care of it. Your first priority should be to get these clothes dry. Go stand by the living room fireplace. What is the mess? Once the bathroom was all cleaned up, I returned to the living room to find Red kneeling by the hearth. How do you pronounce that actually? Hearth? Hearth? Here, drink this. It'll warm you up. I offered him the mug in my hand. Just take it. Consider it a little freebie. It's a chamomile tea. Do you like it? He lowered his gaze to the mug of tea. Interesting. I hadn't expected that. I didn't know many guys who liked herbal tea. My brother had once called it disgusting, and I certainly wasn't expecting Red to be one of them. Chamomile tea is actually really nice. It's one of the few teas I do drink whenever I do drink tea. Whenever I subject my body to the horrors of drinking tea. When I sat down next to him, he scooted a few inches away. This gesture actually hurt my feelings quite a bit, but I was never going to survive this forced cohabitation if I let these microaggressions get to me. Instead, I scrutinized him, looking for potential topics of conversation. The glow of the fire gently illuminated his face. Drinking herbal tea while listening to the crackle of the firewood. This is alive. Also, you're rich. Are your clothes dry? He spoke without looking at me. That's good. But just so we're clear, you'd better sleep in the house tonight, okay? When he finally turned to look at me, I offered him a bright smile. On the off chance you were to get pneumonia, it would impact your work performance. Over the course of our short time together thus far, I had learned to appeal to his rationality. Sure enough, he pursed his lips and sighed. You could have I mean, he could have also just went, "Hi, sorry, I don't see a towel anywhere. Do you have a towel?" And we would have gotten it. But no, he's like, "No, I'm gonna change into my clothes while I'm dripping wet. Also into the same clothes again. What's the point of showering if you're just going to change into the same clothes? Relax, would you?" I sighed and shook my head. "You don't need to be so stiff with me. It's just going to make me feel awkward." Thank you. Sitting at my vanity, I was brushing my hair when I heard a knock at the door. "Come in." I'm surprised her room is all green, though. I didn't take her for a green person. As soon as he walked in, Red went to open the window and check outside. A gust of cool night air rushed into the room, sending my sleepiness packing. Also, her room is really empty. Gotcha, thanks. He closed the window. Meanwhile, I turned around in my chair to face him. "So, are you going to spend the night in my room?" Why would I ask him that? Because he was the one who suggested it, of course. Hard to believe, isn't it? First he claimed he was going to sleep outside, and now this. He looked at me like I'd grown a second head, a look I returned in full force. I'm pretty sure anyone would have had at least a few misgivings about a man and a woman sharing a room at night. What? He tilted his head in contemplation. I don't really understand his logic, but then again, I'm not a cop. Well, if it doesn't bother you, then I guess it doesn't bother me either. Look at that, it's a CG. As I climbed into bed, Red sat down on a chair near the window. You're going to sleep there? It's the ideal position to fuck up your back beyond repair. It doesn't look comfortable. That does not make it any better. Invite him to bed. Give him a blanket or change the subject. Oh, look at that. Hehe. I need to save here. At least take a blanket. There's a CG variation if we change the subject. Hello, 2 months, baby. Welcome. Thank you so much for the 2 months. Wow. Or like, thank for the 1 month, but you know what I mean. I got up and pulled one of the blankets off my bed to give it to him instead. I literally have like probably 5 more blankets I could use. Believe it or not, I've never even had a cold in my life. That's because idiots don't get sick. I was lying, of course. Just take it. He pushed the blanket away. They really ought to have a name for this archetype. I dubbed the Frigidaire. It's going to protect me if you freeze to death in your sleep. Wait, I get it. This is one of those scenarios where I have to warm you up myself, isn't it? Look at it! I clapped my hands in understanding, and a split second later, Red had wrapped himself up in the blanket. Look at that. You just have to make him uncomfortable. Oh, darn. I shrugged and crawled back into bed. Anytime. No problem. Lying down in bed, I continued to chat with Red for a bit. Today was pretty uneventful, huh? I really highly doubt anyone's going to do something, but okay. Like an assassin. You're a cop, right? What sort of criminals have you gone up against over the course of your career? Just so we're clear, I'm only asking about your track record so I can build a sense of trust with you. Wow. Really? But there have to be some special ones, right? That stick with you? Wow. I raised my eyebrows in surprise. Then I noticed him staring at me. What?
いえ、
He averted his gaze for a moment and glanced back at
お
me.
会いした時から思っていましたが、あなたは不安ではないのですか？
Well, I mean, I have a bodyguard right now, right?
あなたは狼にストーカーまがいの行為をされながら脅迫状まで送りつけられたのですよ。
Ah! Woohoo! Don't do that.
狼に何をされるのか不安に思ったりしないのですか？
Well, they have to catch me for that first. At this I laughed. Of course not. After all, I've got you. A brief silence fell between us until I broke it once more. Tell me, Red, how do you think I feel about all this?
この状況を楽しんでいるかのように見えます。
I laughed nervously. Oops. Well, I can't pretend it isn't kind of fun. This kind of thing doesn't happen every day, you know?
私の一連の行為はあなたにとって迷惑なのではないかと思っていましたが、
To an extent. Same, actually.
必要な行為とはいえ、何かとご不便をおかけすることは申し訳なく思っています。
Don't be silly. You're protecting me after all. And like I said, I really appreciate you being here.
そうですか。
Yes, I do. And that was where the conversation ended. After a pause, I decided to ask a different question. You know, Red, ever since I got that blackmail letter, I've been thinking, maybe I ruined somebody's life.
しかし、どうしても思い当たらない。
Maybe I did, but it wasn't a big deal to me, so I didn't notice. Right, if I could, I would have told you about it by now. Tell me, Red, what is sin to you?
罪ですか？それは犯罪を犯すことです。
So, committing a crime, in other words. Well, I definitely don't recall doing anything like that. Oh, but I've been known to tell little white lies on occasion. If I'm late for school, sometimes I tell the teacher my alarm clock was broken. Oh no!
その理屈で言えば、
What a terrible, horrible sin. I guess most people would have
そう
really.
いうことになるでしょう。法律にも限度があります。すべてを規制してしまったら自由がなくなる。
I've told people so many reasons I'm late. Like, it's always things that have happened, but it might not necessarily have happened that day. It's just something that happened at some point, and I didn't need to use it, so I just say it on a different day. It's like, oh, sorry, I was late. There was a... I don't know. A really slow car in front of me. Like someone who's learning to drive. That happens all the time.
問題なのはその大小、罪の重さです。
And the heaviest sin would be to murder someone?
どうでしょう。法律で言えば国家を陥れることのようですが、
Eh, really? Oh, you mean like inducement of foreign aggression? In other words, a crime of secretly communicating with other countries in order to start fights. Also known as warmongering. War doesn't pick and choose its victims. Can't say I'm a fan personally.
よくご存知。
Well, she definitely knows her stuff better than I do. I giggled. How did I decide the severity of each crime anyway? I probed for his
個
opinion.
人によってもたらされた損害がどの程度のものなのか、あとはその行為がなぜどのように行われたのかということを客観的に判断した結果でしょう。
Mm-hmm.
それこそ先ほどから出ている法律や規律という言葉。
I see. So the antonym of crime isn't justice, but laws and regulations.
そういうことになるのかもしれません。
Okay. I see. So that's your outlook, huh? I ruminated on this for a
あな
moment.
たは難しいことを考えるのですね。
Listen, Red, it's technically late at night, and we're like technically we're having a sleepover. So obviously, these are the topics that will come up, right? You think so?
寝る前に考えすぎるといつまで経っても眠れませんよ。
Will you stay awake with me until then?
当然です。
Hmm.
私はあなたを守るためにここにいるのですか
You mean it?
ら。はい。
You won't be nervous?
常に冷静に対処できるよう努めております。
I see. Well, for the record, I'm pretty nervous.
あなたには傷一つつけさせません。なので安心して眠ってください。
That wasn't what I meant. Okay, I'm counting on you. Night night. I slowly closed my eyes. In the darkness, his voice was gentle, guiding me to Slumberland. I wish I could go to Slumberland right now. Morning already. I sat up and stretched as the morning sun streamed in through my window. I looked in the direction of the light and realized that Red was gone. Red. I got out of bed and opened the door to find him standing directly in front of me in the hallway. Whoa! I jumped back reflexively. Good morning. Good morning, Red. You startled me. I clutched my chest. That makes sense. Oh, good work. I tied my hair back in a quick ponytail so I could wash my face. Then I felt his gaze on me and turned to look. What? He awkwardly averted his eyes. Depends on what day it is. I'm going to school. Humming to myself, I opened the fridge and took stock of the ingredients I had on hand. For breakfast we can have eggs and toast, plus leftovers from last night. Then I just need to put together 3 dishes for the packed lunches and we should be good to go. Wow. Yeah. That is... I'm the type of person who doesn't eat breakfast. And also I don't really bring a lot of hard to make food to work. It's like I just grab something I can find in the kitchen in like a minute and then I leave. And she's out here making entire lunch boxes. Quickly launched into meal prep. It's not all for me. Huh? Red called to me as I was paying the finished food. His gaze was fixed on the 4-box lunches sitting on the counter. Oh, the lunches! No, there's no way I could eat all of that. Yep, does that make you curious? Wanna know who? I grinned. Well, one is for me and 2 of them are for my friends, I guess you'd say. Well, one of them is a friend and the other one, it's hard to explain. Anyway, the last one is for you. I thrust out my chest proudly. He stared back at me dubiously. Yes, I did. Of course, don't you want it? You will eat my food. If you don't get some variety in your diet, you give yourself high blood pressure from excessive salt intake. A balanced diet is critical for someone with a job like yours that requires a lot of physical stamina, otherwise you won't have the energy to combat the bad guys. I rattled off all the excuses I could think of to keep him from getting a word in edgewise. The point is, your well-being directly benefits me. Does that make sense? You will not win. Yay! You will not win! The time flew by and before I knew it, it was time to leave the house. At the front door, I put on my shoes and turned on my heel. I'm going to school now. Oh, okay. Oh, right. I temporarily forgotten about the 24-hour surveillance thing. He was my personal butler or something, he was a police officer. This isn't going to be one of those things where you walk into my class wearing a school uniform and the teacher introduces you as our new exchange student, is it? Please don't. You're joking, right? He said this with a perfectly straight face, too. Let's think about this for a minute. Do you realize how long our paperwork will take to process? Once again, here was having to explain something to Red. It's just not worth it over one measly blackmail letter. You could also... maybe you could just get special permission to be allowed on campus without being a student. I understand how you feel, but think about it. You're clearly a grown man. There's nothing undercover about this. With all the unwanted attention you attract, the culprit is bound to notice you immediately. I was desperate to keep him far away from the school. He could pretend to be a new teacher. See, there you go. Now you're cooking with gas. I shot him the finger guns. The finger guns. Hi. Why is classmate in lower letters? Yep. Who are you? Lunchtime found me in the school courtyard. As we ate, I told my buddy all about what was going on. His name was Wolfie, spelled with 2 O's and an E apparently. Suspicious. Suspiciously close to sounding like wolf. He bit back a laugh as he spoke. No clue. He did tell me to give a shout if ever I'm in danger. In the end, we decided against the substitute teacher thing, mainly because it was ridiculous. Alice-chan? Oh, that's cute. What do you mean? Relax, not gonna happen. I waved my hand dismissively. Oh yeah? Go ahead, butter me up. Ain't not the truth. We exchanged a high five. What do you mean? He's weird. Oh, and ridiculously attractive. More like ice cold. This seemed to dampen Wolfie's enthusiasm quite a bit. Or so I thought. Then he grinned. I love the English writing of this game. Yes, no. Why do you ask? Why do you ask? Definitely. I do? Hello, dude! It's not really about hooking up with him or anything like that. I just want to get to know him better, that's all. What, you don't believe me? Yeah, I also want to not get murdered by some kind of weirdo who's writing letters to me. You mean physical attraction? Yeah. Help me! Oh! Oh! Good thing I was drinking my tea just then. I'd have spit it out all over myself. This really isn't the sort of conversation we should be having in public. You're not a girl. But we're not on the phone, and you're a guy. But we're still pals. Of course, what else would you be? Shake, boy. Well, he started it though. He started it. Okay. I'm 19. What do you mean? The ace? Question mark? You're right, this really does sound like movie material. Although I can't help but notice you put question marks on part of it. Nah, bro. Let's go with that. Surprisingly, it isn't. Well, not surprisingly, it is an Otome game. You think so? Right, that's supposed to be just temporary though. And mixed signals don't really count if you ask me.
何言ってるんすか。勘違いも恋のうちっすよ。アリスちゃんが本気なら俺協力してやってもいいっすよ。
You're gonna help me.
信じてない。
That was only for now. Let's go! Let's go! Who's this nerd? That's Wolfie. No, I believe you. It's just.
そんなかまととぶってる幼げな羊は狼にガブリと
He's definitely not suspicious. His name is suspiciously close. You're saying man are all beasts.
どこの誰が考えたのか知らないけど秀逸な言葉っすよね。
I tell you, if I ever have to read that again in an Otome game, I'm going to stop playing it because I dislike it so much. Sounds like a nerd. Yeah, that he does. Doesn't mean I'm in danger right now sitting here alone with you.
狼なだけに
No, because you're a guy. Get it?
よく気づきました。ガオー。
He raised his hands up in front of his face, pointing his claws at me. Save me, Mr. Huntsman. I leaned back and forks right as I joked.
ガブリ。
He put his arms around me.
何やってるんだお前ら。
Oh, hey, there's an actual guy called Huntsman. An annoyed voice rang out, interrupting our little game.
あ、本当に漁師さんが来た。
That's actually his
じゃ
name.
あっせ。
You have friends called Wolfie and Huntsman. Wolfie jumped to attention, straightening his posture. You see, Mr. Huntsman is one of the hunters who works here. Oh, he's actually a hunter. Okay. His real name's Ryoshi, but I'm not allowed to call him that at school. Fun fact, Ryoshi means hunt in Japanese. Our parents weren't very clear. That's our brother! Oh. Okay. Okay. Hello, Mr. Huntsman. I greeted him formally.
ああ、相変わらずバカばっかりやってるな。
It's lunch break. Sick burn, Hunter the Hunter.
成績はいいんすけどね。
Wait, so you're telling me the brother we're, well, on terms with, who's not living at home but closer to his work, works at the school we go to. And we commute to that school every day. But he was like, no, I'm going to go live closer to the same school. Okay. Yeah. We exchanged a playful glance. Wearing his usual resting grump face, Mr. Huntsman sat down next to me and took a small rectangular item out of his pocket. You know you're not allowed to smoke, Mr. Huntsman. I snatched a pack of cigarettes away and put a lollipop in his mouth instead. Though he was a talented hunter, he had a poor grasp of social etiquette. Good grief, try to be more considerate of your students. Some people are sensitive to smoke, remember?
あ、悪い。つい癖でな。
He rolled the lollipop around on his tongue as he spoke.
あ、そうだ。聞いてくださいよ、漁師さん。アリスちゃん、気になる男ができたらしいんすよ。それが。
Shh. I actually clapped the hand over Wolfie's mouth.
あ、全然興味ないって顔。いいんすか？いいんすか？大事な妹ちゃんの大事なものが奪われてもいいんすか？
I don't think he really cares about me that much. Wolfie pushed my hand away, his eyes sparkling with curiosity.
うるせえ。
Hearing Mr. Huntsman's disinterested response, I heaved a sigh of relief. Wolfie, he doesn't care about my love life, just like I don't care that he goes to the girls' friends like underwear. Oh! Oh!
別に興味はなくはないぞ。何せ漁師だからな。
I stared at him wearing my most threatening smile.
ゆりか。
Just then the bell rang, signaling the end of our happy little lunch period. Whoops! Time's up, gotta go. Fist bumping internally, I jumped to my feet. Meanwhile, Mr. Huntsman gave me a look that said I'll let it slide for today.
そうっすね。
Yeah, bye! We have to take school. Seriously. Oh, are you sick? You okay? Are you coming down with something? I rubbed Wolfie's back as I spoke.
ごめん。むせただけ。ありがとう。
Just took him around spin and like in 2 minutes he's gonna be tied to the bed. Sick with a life-threatening disease. Well, okay, maybe have some soup when you get home just to be safe. He was a sickly child growing up, and to this day he would frequently fall ill.
もう大丈夫。今日も美味しいお弁当ごちそうさまでした。
Yay! He grinned like it was nothing.
じゃ、また。
See you later. And so we waved goodbye. Oh, we're not in the same class? What? As I walked off campus, I glanced around checking my surroundings. No people or houses nearby, just a sea of trees. Hardly surprising, of course, considering the school was situated in a forest in a more rural part of town. Sure enough, there he was, standing against a tree. Thanks for waiting. As soon as he got sight of me, Red straightened his posture.
お帰りなさい、ミス・アリス。
Miss
ご
Alice.
無事で何よりです。何か異常はありましたか？
Nope, just another peaceful day at school.
ならば良かったです。
What were you up to while I was in class?
見回りです。それと周辺に聞き込みを
I guess that's the time he uses to actually check out stuff. Legwork.
ここ最近の間、周囲に不審な人物はいなかったか？
That's a very broad term, though. How did it go?
ありませんでした。実に穏やかで平和そのものです。
That's good to hear, though. So anyway, would you come shopping with me on our way home?
どうぞ。
Thanks. And so I purchased a few days' worth of groceries, humming to myself all the while. Red was right. The town truly felt idyllic and peaceful. Nevertheless, he maintained constant vigilance as he scanned the area. Any requests for dinner tonight?
ありません。
Okay. I see. Off topic, would you describe yourself as an alpha in bed? What? Hello? Huh? My friend told me all men are wolves.
狼イコール肉食というつながりですか？
Sonotori. Hello. Hi. I shot him the finger guns.
あなたは私のことをそのご友人に？
Well, yes. He stared at me exasperated. Of course, is that a bad thing?
いえ。
Well, like on one hand, it's the maybe you shouldn't just tell everyone that you have a cop on you right now because someone is threatening you, because maybe it is that same person who's threatening you. But on the other hand, it's like maybe your closest friend should know about the fact that you're being threatened. Don't worry, it's someone I know I can trust.
そうですか。
After another cold reply, Red hastened his pace and I trailed after him. Aren't you going to ask me for details about my friend?
はい。
Oh. I'd been expecting him to interrogate me about it, so this caught me off guard. Okay then. Muttering to myself, I stared after him. But just as he was about to pass the flower shop, he stopped short. Whoa, what is it? I had to stop myself from crashing into him at the last second.
Yeah.
Oh, as I call that's a close-up. He tucked his Red Riding Hood down over his eyes.
誰かがつけている気配がします。
Look at that. The bags under his eyes are pretty. No, well, they're also pretty, but like I wanted to say that you can really see them. They're pretty prominent. What?
気のせいかもしれませんが、ここは念のため商店街を走り抜けようと思います。
Oh, okay, sure. Nope, I'm fairly in shape if I do say so myself.
それはよかった。では。
Crouching down slightly, Red began to run at full speed, weaving between the passers-by. Naturally, I followed suit. Once we rounded the corner, we finally came to a stop.
息が切れていますが、体力に自信があったのでは？
Well, being in shape and doing a full-on sprint just because it's just weaving between people in the crowd is harder than I thought it would be.
そうですか。
Yeah, only a ninja could pull that off.
私も忍者ではありません。
Beats. Yeah, no, you must be some kind of special agent or something, huh? Anyway, don't worry about it. So, are we still being followed?
すみません。私の気のせいだったようです。
Ha! Ha ha ha. I laughed humorously. Ta-da! Tonight's dinner is Salisbury's Day. That...
知っています。そばで見ていましたので。
Let me have fun! I sauntered gallantly into the dining room with our food on a platter, but Red didn't much appreciate my dynamic entrance. Right. With left hand, I set all the plates on a table, then took a seat across from him.
いただきます。
Bon appetit! And so we tucked into our supper. How is it? Do you like it? Meanwhile, I used my knife and fork to cut my steak into bite-sized pieces.
ええ。まあ。
Ma. Huh? Already this was a step above last night's "do you need meat to tell you it's delicious" comment. The power of meat is not to be underestimated, it seems.
よかったです。
Oh, what? Excuse me. You mean it? I'm so glad. Oh yeah, and how did you like your lunch? Yay! I jumped out of my seat and thrust my fist into the air victoriously. She's so cute. I actually really adore Yurika. She's so cute. Red showed me a weird look, so I cleared my throat and returned to my seat. Nothing's really happened since you got here, huh? I casually changed the subject.
例の嫌がらせですか。
Yes. Red promptly took the bait. What a nice guy, letting me save face. Yeah, it's like the guy up and vanished.
警戒しているのかもしれませんね。
Then it hit me. Wait, but that means the wolf knows a cop is here.
その可能性もないとは言えません。
He took an item out of his gingham basket.
ちなみに、これに見覚えは。
What is it? The object he set on the table was small and black. To me, it looked like a portable radio of some kind.
今に仕掛けられていました。鑑識に回しておきますが、
Oh,
おそらく盗聴器の類でしょう。
well, then it's easy to imagine that whoever has the other part of that thing knows that a cop is here. If they can hear everything we're talking about. When did I get here? I
あ
swallowed.
なたの留守を狙って狼が仕掛けたものだと思われます。
Ah.
念のためこの家をくまなく調べましたが、他にこのようなものはありませんでした。
When did that
捜
happen?
査の基本です。
As he spoke, he didn't even bat a lash. No, seriously, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to get a warrant before you go searching around the whole premises. Forget it. What do we do? Are we in trouble if the culprit finds out about you? I looked at him with concern.
いえ、逆に私がここにいることで牽制になっているとも言えます。
Yeah, but like if we're only safe as long as you're here and then they don't do anything anymore, then we're just going to be in a stalemate until you eventually have to leave. I see. I guess it'll be harder to mess with me now that I've got a bodyguard.
はい。しかし、このまま何もないとなると、犯人を逮捕するどころか、特定すら難しいかもしれませんね。鑑識の結果にもよりますが、おそらく何も出てこないでしょうから。
Should we bait him or something?
本気でも冗談でも、そのようなことはおっしゃらないでいただきたい。
To protect me? He nodded.
そうです。そのあなたをみすみす危険な目にさらすことなどできません。
Listen, if it works, I don't mind being bait, right?
今回の任務の優先度は、あなたの保護が
It'll
一
be
番
over
であり
faster that way.
その次が犯人確保です。
But sometimes you have to take risk if you want to get anywhere.
少なくとも今はその時ではありません。
Blah. He shot me down without
良
hesitation.
いですか、ミス・アリス。私がここに来てからまだ2日しか経っていません。その間に何も起こらなかったとはいえ、今後もそうだとは限りません。
So I should just relax and keep living my life.
はい。もしも犯人が私の存在を知った上で強行に及ぶとなれば、
That makes
あ
sense.
なたや私の隙をついてくるでしょ
So maybe they're gathering intel on us for now.
う。はい。少なくとも私ならそうします。
Okay. At this, I closed my eyes and sank deep into thought.
何か
What if the culprit never makes a move? I opened my eyes and looked up at him once more. I mean, you've considered the possibility that they won't take further action, right?
まあ
What would you do then? Surely you can't stay here forever and ever, right? After a moment of thought, Red looked back at
1
me.
週間何もなかったら上層部に脅迫状は一過性のいたずらだったと伝えるつもりです
Okay.
もちろんその後もあなたに何かあるようならば駆けつけますが
Mm-hmm. But you won't stay with me as my bodyguard like you're doing now.
はい
I see. Then that means we only have 5 more days together, huh?
今日を含めれば6日です
Feels like a long time, but I bet it'll fly by.
あっという間です
It's kind of depressing, isn't it? It was the honest truth of how I felt. We had only just met. It struck me as such a shame for our friendship to come to an end so quick. Friendship! This guy is literally just doing his job. Oh, I know. I clapped my hands together. I know just the thing to bring us closer together. Since you're here, how about I show you around the house?
家の中をですか
Wait. Listen, I think he practically already knows the entire house. Well, I didn't get the chance yesterday because I forgot, so let's fix that. Oh, kinda late for that, huh? Yeah, I get it. You've already investigated the place anyway. But just as I slumped my shoulders...
案内していただけるのであれば
Yay! Oh, okay then. We'll do it after dinner. My voice shot up an octave in my joy.
よろしくお願いします
And so began the great Yurika Arisu house tour. Woo! So first things first. I cleared my throat in an abstemious display, then donned a serious expression. This is the living room.
知っています大概の時間をここで過ごすので
Don't be rude. Okay then, onwards we go. Well, we're going to go everywhere anyway. The entryway. This is the entryway.
そうですね
The bedrooms and guest rooms are all on the second floor. Down here we've got the living room and the ballroom. Ooh. Uh-oh, he doesn't look that impressed. He's probably thinking, no shit, Sherlock, right about now. Okay then, onwards we go. As you know, this is my room, as in, this is where I sleep.
まあそうでしょうね
His curt response took the wind out of my sails.
豪華な部屋ですねこのような立派な屋敷に住めることは羨ましい限りです
Wow, you sound very deadpan. Oh, he responded to a social coup for once. Yeah, me too.
ここはあなたの家なのでは
Oh, whoops. Sorry, I got carried away. I giggled bashfully.
次の場所を案内していただけます
Right. I love her. Here we are. This is the ballroom, my second favorite place to hang out.
2番目ですか
Yeah, I'll show you my favorite later.
そうですか
What, that's it? I stared into his eyes, trying to gauge his reaction.
舞踏会でも開けそうですね
It's a ballroom. That's what they're for, yes. I know, right? I think we did at one point, but I can't remember. Have you ever gone dancing, Red?
ありません
That's a shame. I bet you'd be a real gentleman. I can totally picture him wearing a fancy suit, and that's about it.
ご冗談私はこういった華やかな場は苦手です
Yeah, you don't seem like the most social person. Oh, really? But before I could joke that it was too cool for
ミ
parties.
ス・アリスはレディーらしくサズやダンスがお得意なのでしょう
Oh! That was unexpected to say the least. Oh no, to tell the truth, I can dance a lick. I folded my hands behind my back and smiled at him flirtatiously. Say, if I threw a party here, would you ask me to dance? After all, there's no need to worry about embarrassing ourselves if neither of us any good at it, right?
マイナスとマイナスが組んでもプラスにはなりませんどなたかにエスコートされた方が何倍も良いでしょう
Sure they do. If you subtract a negative number from a negative number, you end up adding to it. Same with multiplication. No! Don't do math in my atomic game, please. For a moment I forgot to flirt and ended up giving a serious response.
それは数学の話でしょう
So, same goes for real life. Don't think about it like a ruler or a line on a graph. It's like a double negative in grammar. The outcome of a pairing will change depending on the surrounding context. For example, since neither of us can dance, we could always take lessons together in advance. You know, hypothetically.
ご考説ありがとうございます。
Okay. You're welcome. Now then, I'll take you to my favorite spot. Are you curious?
すでに予想はついています。
Shh, stop right there, buddy. You're gonna spoil the surprise. I poured my lips and Red gave a defeated sigh.
わかりました。
Now then, right this way. With that, I attempted to take him by the arm. I didn't have any ulterior motives for doing this, mind you. In my giddiness, my first instinct was to reach for him. But my hand closed on empty air.
私に触らないでいただきたい。
Okay. He jumped away from me. Oh, sorry. Startled, I apologized immediately. In response, he awkwardly averted his gaze.
こちらこそすみません。
The wonders of parents knocking on your door, truly marvelous. The wonders of my phone losing the very few battery percentages still had left. Okay, there we go. No, it was my fault. I decided the best thing I could do to resolve this awkward moment would be to carry on as if it never happened. Otto, thank you so much for the posture check and the higher time. Hold up. Hydrate. Hydration is good. Especially because it's gotten so hot. Like, I think it had over 30 degrees here today. It's like... disgusting. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Well, anyway, just follow me.
はい。
What is your favorite place? And here we are. This is my favorite spot to hang out. The garden. Oh, the entire garden. Okay. I held my arms out wide as if to say ta-da. Red silently stepped away from me and crouched down beside the flower bed. Behind him, I leaned over slightly. Do you like flowers?
そうですね。見ていると
Ah,
心が
is that why you stopped at the flower store?
ミス・アリスも花が好きなんですね。
Pretty obvious, huh?
わかります。これほど見事に手入れされた素晴らしい庭を見れば。
He glanced around as he
今
spoke.
は季節が冬なので、小ぶりで可愛らしい冬バラが咲いているだけですが、
Aww.
春になったら様々な種類の花が咲いて賑やかになるのでしょうね。
That's so nice of you to say. Do you like roses?
好きですよ。ただ、バラの花は美しくて豪華ですが、私のような人間にとっては少
Aww.
し遠い存在という気が
Oh,
しま
don't
す。
say that. I see. So you're saying you prefer less pretentious
え
flowers?
え、まあ、私のような人間が花を好きだなんて
Oh, that's not true.
似合いませんよね。
He gave a self-depreciating laugh and pulled his hood low over his eyes. That's not true. Why? You're sweet as a flower yourself.
優しい。
Yeah.
私がですか？
Yeah.
そんなことはありません。私はあなたに何もしていません。
Sure you have. You're protecting me, aren't you?
それは任務だからであって。
Pushing his lips together, he fell silent and turned away.
少し余計なことを話しすぎました。
With that, he straightened up and sped off towards the house.
戻りましょう。体が冷えてしまいますよ。
Okay. Hey, wait! I called after him.
何ですか？
Will you come back and visit in the spring?
は？
He turned back and fixed me with a dubious look. Like you said, this place really comes alive in the springtime. Not just roses either, all kinds of flowers, lilies and stuff. So would you like to?
いえ。私は二度とここに来ない方が良いでしょう。
Brrr. He cut me off, averting his gaze once more. Why is that? Hiya! Good evening, how are you?
忘れたのですか。私はあな
The
た
wolf's
を
evil
狼の魔の
design.
手から守るために
Oh no! He designed such terrible, terrible clothes you cannot bear looking at them.
私がいるということは特殊であり、あなたの日常
You
で
could
は
but
ない
warm. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. I am not opening my window until I see the sun go completely down, and then I'm hoping it will be a little bit cold out. We're doing good. We're trying to make this guy Thor. Well, yeah, but
あなたのお心遣いには感謝します。ですが、
we can change that.
私は必要ありません。
I'm trying to wink. Well, that's everything there's to show you. Seems like it's warm in a lot of places. True that. Well, it is finally summer. Hot girl summer. Now that I think about it, I really should have done this yesterday. Sorry about that.
いえ、改めて家主にご紹介いただき、いろいろと参考になりました。
Cool. Good to know. In the end, my spontaneous suggestion proved useful. Nice.
ちなみに、玄関などの鍵はあなたが保管しているのですよね。
Yes. Yes, of course.
他に鍵を持っている人物は
Each of my family members has one. Oh, and I keep the master key and any spares safely in the kitchen door so I won't lose them.
なるほど。ならば、キッチンに向かいましょう。
Oh, you think someone has
念
a
のた
key?
め確認しておきたいので。
Sure thing. Wow, we don't get a kitchen, CG. Sad. Together, the two of us walked through the living room to the kitchen. There, I pulled open the cabinet drawer where I kept the keyring. What the? It's gone? I dug around in earnest, but my search yielded not a single key. They were gone.
確かにここにしまっていたのですか。
Yeah,
最後に確認したのは
it would have been 2 days ago. I was doing some cleaning and came here to grab a key.
その鍵は元に戻しましたか。
Of course! And this his expression clouded over. You think somebody stole it?
その可能性が高いかもしれません。
Oh shit. It's all my fault, isn't it? I should have expected this. As soon as I got that blackmail letter, I should have predicted that someone would break into the house. I should have hidden the key somewhere safe.
それほど恐怖に駆られ、冷静でいられなかったということでしょう。
But on the other hand, though, this means someone managed to break in, get keys that I am pretty sure not everyone will know they're there. Like if you're going to break in somewhere and steal keys and make it so that the owner of the house doesn't notice that the keys are stolen or anything else, wouldn't you have had to break in and immediately get to where the keys are to, you know, break out without touching anything else? I mean, it's gotta be someone close to us anyway. It's got to be. But I wonder who. Well, let's remain calm. We're going to find out who this is. Well, I guess there's no use crying over spilled milk. It won't magically fix anything. Let's figure out our next move.
念のため、このことはご家族に報告しておいた方が良いかもしれませんね。
Right. I picked up the phone. First, I decided I would call my parents. Unfortunately, they didn't answer. It's like, ah yes, our daughter's at home. I wonder how she's doing. Oh yeah, Mom, I'm kind of being stalked. I guess they're not home. I sighed and set the receiver down.
そうですか。ならば、あなたのお兄様にご連絡をお願いします。
My brother.
はい。ご兄弟の危機的状況に何も反応
Where
し
he
ないということは
though?
ない。
I paused to think, then punched in Ryoshi's phone number. He's not answering. Meanwhile, the phone continued to ring and ring and ring. With a sheepish smile, I set the receiver back onto the hook. My family's just really busy.
あなたの危機だというのにご家族はあなたに関心がないのですか
Probably not. Otherwise, they wouldn't have left me alone in this house to begin with.
あなたのご両親は子供よりも己の都合を優先したと
Why do you sound so surprised? Sure, I guess you could say that. I shrugged. At this, Red furrowed his brows slightly.
寂しくはないのですか
I'm used to being on my own. Maybe I've just forgotten what it's like to enjoy someone else's company.
その気持ちは少しわかります
You can?
すみません余計なことを言いました
But you did! And I will cling on to that little thing. I now know about you. He pulled his hood over his eyes as if to escape from my prying gaze.
とにかくここでこうしていても何も解決しません
Good point.
鍵を盗まれたのだとしたら何を仕掛けてくるかわか
But
りま
this means we're not safe in the house either, because someone could literally just, you know, come in through the front door. They have the key.
本来なら家を離れるべきなのですがここはあなたの家です権限はあなたにあります
I have no intention of leaving.
あなたならそう言うと思いましたならば私はそれに従うまで
Personally, I think finding out that your keys have been stolen is really scary. Because it's like, in the first place, you have keys to feel safe in your own house. Like, I'm the type of person who always locks from the inside. It's like, I come home, I lock the front door. Easy as that. That's, I don't know, I was raised that way. Also to not leave the key in the lock. Though I guess that's kind of depending on what kind of lock you have. There's some locks that where if you leave a key in, you actually cannot open the door with another key from the outside. So it's always like, get home, lock the door from the inside, and get the key somewhere safe. Which is fun whenever I had people over and I would tell them, or like if people were trying to leave after I had them over, and they would try to leave, right? And they go to open the door, I'm like, you need to unlock it first. Even with friends, even with people I have known for like half my life, every time they go to the door, try to open it, and it's like, still locked. You have to unlock it first. You know this. Well then, what's the worst that could happen? Hahaha.
室内、外ともに不審人物はいませんでした
Okay, good. Thanks for checking. You should get some rest.
あなたの方こそ随分お疲れのようですねミス・アリス
Wee.
無理もありません今日はいろいろありましたからね 私に遠慮せずお休みください
Thanks. No, I'm not going to bed just yet. I want to talk to you a little more. I shook my head.
好きにしてください
I will, thanks. Wait, what are you doing?
念のためこの部屋にも罠を仕掛けています
Oh? You're setting a trap. Another trap. In my bedroom. But Red ignored my questions. I could see him working with some sort of thread.
鍵が盗まれましたからね用心するに越したことはありません
I guess. Right.
ちなみに今仕掛けているのはドアノブに触れると同時に電流が流れ侵入した際にはナイフが飛び出す仕組みになっているものです
Okay, okay. Are you trying to kill him?
いえ確実に致命傷は与えますが動機を聞き出すくらいの余裕は残すつもりです
Isn't that a little extreme? No? What if someone in my family randomly decides to come home?
その時はその時です物事を成し遂げるには
Well, if they die, they die. Red really said, if they die, they die. That's their problem. You're joking, right?
冗談です
Oh, okay. Okay, thank God. Your sense of humor isn't just dry, it's completely morbid. Actually, come to think of it, I didn't realize you were the joking type to begin with.
これでよしと。誰かが侵入したらすぐにわかるように音が鳴る仕掛けにします。
Okay, that sounds more normal. Upon closer inspection, I could see tiny little bells affixed all over the place. I'm guessing the smallest vibration will set them off. This is what you'd call a booby trap, right? Was this part of your professional training?
ええ、まあ。
What part of it? He looked at me dubiously, so I decided to rephrase my question. Do they teach you that at the police academy?
いえ。これは友人に教えてもらいました。
Oh? Well, really? What's the story there? I didn't know Red even had friends. He's literally still just doing his job. He's not your friend, and he's not about to become your friend. Well, he is, but technically he's doing his job.
何かあれば私がすぐに対処します。
So, technically you don't need to know a single thing about his private life. Or just ignore me, that's fine too. Instead of pressing a question, I gave up and got into bed. Are you going to sleep there again? It was obvious where I was referring to. By now, the chair by the window had become his usual spot.
問題があるならば外で寝ますが。
What is the point in setting a booby trap that would alert someone if they come in then? No, I love it when you sleep by the window. Please continue.
それはそれで問題のある発言ですね。
If it gets you to stay, then I will say it as often as I have to. Just to be clear though, are you sure that's what you want? Did you get enough sleep last night?
はい。
You have dark circles under your eyes though.
これは生まれつきです。
Okay. Oh. I mean, his dark circles are so prominent, we actually get to see them in every single artwork with him. It's like, you know how in so much anime and manga, they're like, oh, you look so tired. And then they just look the same as always. No dark circles under their eyes, no exhaustion, just, oh yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep. You sure look like you always do though. Like if it's a perpetually tired character. Right? Obviously not everyone gets dark circles just from getting one night, just from having one night of not enough sleep, but like, character A is a character who gets introduced as, oh, always tired, never gets enough rest, exhausted, and then they just look like any other guy. His work complete, Red settled down in his usual chair. Say, Red, why do you think the wolf keeps harassing me?
気づいてほしいからなのでは。
Whose attention could they possibly gain by doing this?
それはもちろん。
Right, of course. Warning, you know what you did. Now confess, or suffer terrible misfortune. I repeat, confess your sin. Next time I won't ask nicely. Signed, the wolf.
まだあなたはその罪が何か思い
Nope.
そうでしょうね。こうしてあなたと共に過ごして分かりましたが、
Maybe it's not me they're trying to get. Maybe it's actually you.
あなたが何か罪を犯すとは考えられない。
I don't know how that would make sense, but you never know. Maybe I did something really, really horrible and I just can't remember it. I must have done something to deserve this blackmail.
そうですね。
If it turns out I did do something wrong, will you hate me for it?
別に軽蔑はしません。
You mean it?
はい。
I wonder why the wolf wants me to confess my sin. What will they get out of it?
私には分かりません。さあ、いつまでもお話ししてないで、早くお休みください。
School. Brr. Okay. Good night, Red.
おやすみなさい。ミス・アリス。
That night I dreamt of the distant past. I was a child again, sitting alone on the lake shore. Why? No reason in particular. I had no strong attachment to the lake nor any special memories of it. Unlike most children at that age, however, I didn't attend school. Thus I was forced to avoid the public eye lest I draw unwanted attention. On weekdays the lake was deserted and hardly anyone ever passed through the forest to get here, which made it the ideal place to hang out in secret. That was the only reason I spent my time here. Truth be told, I would have gone anywhere if it meant I had a place to belong. I remember it was nice and sunny that day. Unlike most children, however, I didn't play. I just sat there and listened to the waves. You might think a lake wouldn't have waves, but you would be mistaken. The lake takes swells and recedes just like the ocean. That it does. Supposedly, these waves are created by friction between the surface water and the wind. That said, a lake is still not the same as an ocean. A lake will not lead you to distant lands, but even if it did, I would likely never go.
こんなとこで何してんだよ。一緒に遊ぼうぜ。
Wait. That day a boy called out to me. Assuming he wasn't a ghost, he must have been an awfully truant student, considering everyone else was at school. My mother was right. The world was full of monstrous wolves. Thus I ignored him, just as she had instructed me. After all, wolves were not to be trusted. Eventually, the boy gave up trying to talk to me and walked away. How relieved I felt knowing I could safely go back to my life of solitude. But the next day, at the very same place and time, the boy turned up once more, asking me to play with him. This caught me off guard. I hadn't expected him to show up a second time. Once again, I did as my mother had taught me and gave him the cold shoulder. I had already broken one of her rules, I couldn't very well break another. But the boy refused to give up. Day in and day out, he tried again and again to get my attention. And the next thing I knew, I realized I was looking forward to seeing him. Because deep down, I had always wanted someone to play with. Wait, whose point of view is that? That can't have been Eureka's, right? It's fun to share me with someone, don't you think? The next morning in sharp contrast to my chipper mood, Red ate the omelette I prepared for him in total silence. Do you ever go out to eat with your friends or anything?
Yeah.
What about your family?
それらの質問は職務に関係ありません。
Damn it! In other words, I should probably mind my own business. Sorry.
Yeah.
Once I finished my food, it was time to go to school. Will you accompany me again?
ええ、もちろん。
I wonder how many times. Do you think if it's the same voice line, like technically, do you think they actually had him speak it every time? Or do you think they got him to say, mochiron, like one time and just put it in the game several times? Like whenever they needed it. It's like, oh, it's okay, we already have that one voice line, let's just play it over and over. Well, this is where we part ways. Here's your lunch for the day.
ありがとうございます。
At the school gates, I held out a boxed lunch for Red. As I spoke, I looked into his bright red
不
eyes.
安ですか？
Huh? Oh yeah, pretty frightened.
あまりそうは見えませんが。
Maybe you're not looking hard enough.
私も中までついていきたいのは山々ですが、昨日あなたに反対を受けたばかりですし、
And because you would draw unwanted attention.
まあ犯人もまさか学校内であなたを襲うことはないでしょう。 もしも何かあった場合はすぐに周囲の人に助けを求めてください。
Okay. That's it?
はい。それだけです。
I put both hands over my face, then whipped them away with a
何
flourish,
ですか？
making a silly face. I didn't have a mirror handy, but I was sure it must have looked absolutely ridiculous. I'll leave it to your imagination. Yeah, too bad we don't actually get to see her most of the time.
それはわかります。
They should have made at least a few different ones in case it gets used in shots. Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm pretty sure they have him read out every single line just when it comes up because there's different emotions behind them most of the time, even if they sound similar. That's it. At this rate, Red's frigid composure would soon make my own heart freeze over too. It's just funny because it's something he says so often. Here's your lunch, Wolfie.
やったー。今日は何？
You're killing me inside every time you say dude. Salisbury steak.
よっしゃー。肉。
At lunchtime, I gave Wolfie his boxed lunch, same as always, though he might look like a better man. He has a carnivore's appetite of an... Help me! Why would you say that? As he gleefully opened the lid, I gazed at him just as I had gazed at Red.
なんすか？
Am I unattractive?
え？
I want your honest opinion, no jokes, no sugarcoating.
突然なんすか？あ、もしかしてようやく俺の魅力に気づいたとか？
No. No, this is about Red.
ですよね。
He paused to think for a moment.
ということはつまりあれ？ 俺に協力してほしいってこと？
Essentially, yeah.
うわ
He stared up at the
ー、そ
sky.
っか。ま、元は俺から言い出した
It's like, oh damn it, my actions have consequences. In contrast to the day before, today he seemed reluctant to help me. Looks like I have to use my secret weapon, crocodile tears. In execution, it's more like puppy dog eyes, but still. Pretty please.
だ、卑怯だ。
Hehehe.
だ、もうはいはい、いいっすよ。協力します。
Nice. Thank you. Evidently, Wolfie was a sucker for the waterworks. Okay, Wolfie, tell me, how do I make someone laugh?
は？
All this time, I've never once seen him laugh.
じゃあ、変顔してみるとか。
I literally just tried that. Already tried that.
やったんかい。
I wanted him to laugh, even though it meant I looked like a freak in the process. Oh, why would you do that? What?
惨敗だったわけっすね。
Yeah, it just bothers me that he's always
ま
scowling.
あ、しょうがないんじゃねえっすか。あっちはだいぶ気が張ってるだろうし。
If he can frown 24/7, he can also laugh. Like once. So it's just a cop thing.
そういうもんっすよ。
Right, I guess so. Or maybe I'm just bad at making friends. I slumped my shoulders.
そうっすか？アリスちゃん、友達多いじゃないっすか。
Do we? If we do, they don't show up in this game. Like you.
そう、例えば俺。
I feel like the two of us hit it off almost instantly.
まあ、ノリも似てたし、それに。
Not that we'll ever get to see it. Oh god, somebody save me. I put my face in my hands. I'm just messing with you! I pulled my hands away and stuck my tongue out at him.
まあ、何はともあれ。まずは、とにかく話しかけることかな。
Imagine the one time you love, you come to regret it. Oh no. Well, I couldn't do that. I'm someone who loves a lot, I think. When I was younger, you know, when you're in like your edgy teen phase and you go like, oh well, nothing can make me laugh. I'm really hard to, you know, I find very little things funny. I was the type of, I'm just gonna say child that did that at some point. It's like, oh, you have to try really hard to make me laugh, and then something funny would happen and I literally could not breathe because I was laughing so hard. So that definitely did not go well. Also, I'm not suggesting you should try that. Just be yourself. Love as loud as you want. You think I should start conversations with him?
そう、相手が無視しても話しかけて話しかけて話しかけるんすよ。
Wait, I think we're pretty much already doing that though. Wouldn't that be annoying?
ちっちっち。そんなこと気にしてたらいつまで経ってもあっちは心開いてくんねえっすよ。
But if he doesn't get a word in, then... so what you're saying is I should get pushy with him.
そういうこと。そういうの得意っすよね。
Thanks. Right back at ya. We left and exchanged a high five. Listen, I like Wolfie. He's nice, but also he's sus as hell. After I finished my lunch, I was walking down the hallway when I encountered Mr. Huntsman. Here at school, he wasn't allowed to smoke cigarettes. Instead, I found him sucking on a lollipop. As he passed me, he suddenly handed me his empty lunchbox. What do you think?
Mama.
Listen, bro. I get up early just to make you a lunchbox, and what you will say it's delicious and not just mama. Which means you thought it was good, huh? Well, you're welcome. I took the third empty box and put it in my bag. Who's that voice actor? Hold up. I'm fearing I'm going to, you know, spoiler myself on the game big time by looking him up, but I just Huntsman voice. Age different. No. Oh wait, maybe he. Oh no. If I don't find him googling Huntsman, I will probably accidentally spoil myself right the fuck now by trying to find him. Main characters. Do not spoil me. I'm begging you, do not spoil me. Oh god, who are all these people here? There he is. A man full of mystery. No, I just want to know who... Ah, there's his voice actor. Okay. Okay, he's literally just been in 3 games. Nothing else? Really? Nothing else? His name is Tomohisa Hashisume? Really? He's not been in anything. He has been in a game, I know. He's been in Oninaki, which is... he's battled in SNK Attack on Titan. Yeah. That's been a while since I last tried watching anything related to Attack on Titan. He's been in a bunch of Digimon stuff. Oh, that's it! Oh, he hasn't had many roles at all. Interesting. Okay. Well, good for him. I hope he gets some more roles, though. He's a nice voice. Of course, you seem pretty grumpy, though. Oh, silly me. You're always like that. I clasped my hands behind my back and grinned playfully at him. He's a very calm voice. I think he would definitely fit into some more... Well, I hope he gets more Tome game roles. I think he would fit right in. Like, for the guys with deep voices. Like, I love me the usual guys, but I also wish for newer people to, you know, get that chance. Oh, I see. Sounds like you're working hard. I bowed my head in deference to him, but he saw through my sarcasm and bonked me in the head with a sigh. Careful what? Where the fuck did you hear that from? Oh, that? Yeah. Where did he hear that from? And if he knows I'm being stalked, why did he not pick up the phone when I tried calling him literally yesterday evening? That could have been an emergency. Okay, I won't. He looked at me with contempt. Oh yeah! I clapped my hands together. I want to ask you, how do you get someone to let their guard down around you? I decided I would get his advice while I was at it. Am I? Well, he has no weak points, so I'm trying to figure out how I can get close to him. A brilliant deduction, my dear Watson. I talked to Wolfie about it too. He told me I should just get aggressive. Sandsman took the lollipop out of his mouth. He's not going to go into a cafe with me. Also, do not force yourself on someone. I get it, so basically I should take him out on a date. But where? As I tilted my head in contemplation, Mr. Huntsman fixed a smoldering gaze on a distant horizon. There was something he often did whenever he was lost in thought. Then he turned back to me and said in his usual flat tone. Okay. So there we were, at the lake. Of course we are! Sure enough, it was a quiet, romantic place, the perfect spot for a one-on-one conversation. Granted, we could always talk at home, but knowing me, I'd probably get distracted. Looks like Mr. Huntsman really knows his stuff. That's a playbook for you, I guess.
Miss Alice.
Yes. Because you look very pretty on the red dish background. Well, to get to know him better. Because I want to get to know you better, of course. I looked into his eyes as I spoke.
私と
Yeah. Yes, you. His eyes widened slightly.
なぜ湖なんですか
His voice was almost inaudible. That's what my friends recommended.
そうですか
Do quiet places make you uncomfortable?
嫌いではありません
Do you just hate the lake then?
あなたには関係ありませんあなたは私と仲良くなりたいとおっしゃいましたが
Well, at least
私
he's
にはその気はありません
well, at least he literally just tells us right out and doesn't lie to make us feel better. So, yay, I guess. Not even a little.
少しもです
Damn, that hurts though. You're no fun. What else is new?
ミス・アリス私とあなたは刑事と被害者の関係です
No, I guess not. I don't know. You see it a lot in soap operas.
それは架空の物語ですフィクション
Oh, so give me just a second. I need a tissue. 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 There we go. Is it me? Do I make you uncomfortable?
別に嫌いではあります
Oh! Aw. Ouch. Kinda sounds like he changed tack at the last minute though. Change tack? Is that a saying? Change tack? Like it has to be. At this point she said it, I don't know, 3 times. I've never heard that before though. I only know change, you know, to change tactic, but not tack. Especially not tack with a CK.
あなたのようなタイプにはこの際ですからはっきりと言わせていただくことにしました
I mean, that's true. That makes sense. It's important to establish a relationship built on honesty.
あなたと会話するのは疲れます
Okay, that's a bit harsh. Really? But it's so much fun.
楽しい
Yeah, we always have the most scintillating conversations. It's great.
彼と同じだ
Who? Huh?
私のような面白みのない人間との会話が面白いなどという既得な人間
I wonder who you could be talking about. I wonder.
そういえばあなたはどことなく似ている気が
There's
しま
one
す
other person who's been in this game that is apparently similar to us. That he could mean, maybe. I resemble this other person who said you were fun to talk to.
ええ無神経で無遠慮でいつでも自分に都合のいいようにものを考えるところがそっくりです
That sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds like he was friendly, optimistic, a friendly, optimistic, assertive sort of guy.
あなたの前に人の上げ足取りがうまいところにはほとほと感心します
Listen, I think talking to someone like this in real life, if you don't know them well, would be exhausting. But I wish I was as quick on the uptake and everything as Yurika is to just, you know, throw that back at someone in a matter of seconds. Thanks!
褒めたわけではありません本当にあなたという人は
So, could you tell me more about your friend?
嫌です第一
Relevant to the vision, I know.
分かっているのなら自重してください
I will not. Hehe.
何ですか気持ち悪い
Well, we're still talking though. Oh, nothing. I felt like Red was steadily becoming less formal and more curt with me. Perhaps this was the real him. So you're still going to protect me even though I make you uncomfortable.
それが私に課せられた使命ですから
I see. You really are loyal to your job, huh?
これ以上用がないのなら家に帰りましょ
Wait.
う何ですか
He scolded me, so I beamed back. Why don't you come a little closer?
は
think about it, we're always standing so far apart.
まだくだらないこと必要はありません
But you have to protect me. Evidently my ulterior motive was on full display because he blatantly stepped away from me. We were 4 feet apart, I don't know how much that is, too far away for any sort of casual physical contact. Could you at least come one step closer? Just one? I must have sounded like a total creep. You know what I mean, right? Come on, baby, just a tip. Okay.
嫌です
Can I come closer then? At this suggestion, Red preemptively took another step back.
嫌と言ったら嫌です
Okay. Not sure how you expect to protect me from all the way over there. Although I felt this was a valid
この
point.
距離でも私ならあなたを問題なく守れます
Uh-huh. He refused to accept it. Oh no, how about we compare our hand sizes?
しません
Comparing hands is a great way to mess around and flirt, but only if both parties are willing. I recommend brain for other ways to initiate physical contact. Fine, let's go home.
さ
Ooh! Oh no, what did I do? No! Where did all my texts go? There it is. Can you at least help me up? I reached out my hands, tilting my head as cutely as possible. His expression was so icy it nearly gave me freezer burn.
ではこれに捕まってください
You really don't want to touch my hand, huh? He picked up a fallen tree branch and held it out to me. Wow, jerk.
ではご自分でお立ちください
Okay, thank you. Slapping my shoulders, I grabbed the branch. Truth be told, I could have gotten to my feet just fine without his help, but since he offered, I didn't want to turn him down. Up we go! But just as I hoisted myself up onto my feet, I belatedly realized that all that sitting had made them go numb. That, and either I snapped the branch or it slipped out of my hand. Either way, gravity pulled me right back down, by which I mean I stumbled and fell.
ゆりかさん
Oh, he called me by my name. See, if you choose the name that is already in it. This is one of those games where they actually have a few scenes where they call it out. Otherwise, if you choose a different name for your protagonist, it's just going to be like not a loan word, but just a word they put in there, like anata or something, like you, kimi, whatever. But I like it when it's literally voiced with a name. Still, I couldn't fight it. Instead, I gave in to gravity's pull. I'm going to fall right into the lake, aren't I? How close were you to the lake? Also, hi. Thank you. I felt a hard impact and my consciousness returned. I'd nearly plunged myself into the lake, but thankfully Red had caught me at the last second. Talk about a hyper-competent police officer. My wrist ached, but we were both too busy heaving a sigh of relief, until we regained our composure, that is. Then really realized his hand was on my wrist. Oh, a hydrate time. Oh, a hydrate time. He's getting red. Haha. Red's going red. My eyes sparkled as I looked up at him happily. Okay. Are you... What's wrong? All of a sudden, Red began to breathe heavily. Then I realized his face was now as red as his riding hood. Ah! Huh? The next thing I knew, he shoved me away, and this time I did fall into the lake. Oh. Ow! Rubbing my Satoshi, I staggered to my feet and made eye contact with Red. Red. What? He clapped both hands over his face. I looked down at myself and realized I was soaked from head to toe. Admittedly, I wasn't sure what exactly there was to scream about. Sure, it was dripping wet, but this wasn't exactly a fan service scene from an anime or anything. So what was so suggestive about it that it made my clothes hug my curves a little tighter? Meanwhile, Red peeked at me through the gaps in his fingers. Oh, excuse me! You shoved me into the lake! With what? I don't have anything. All of a sudden my vision turned scarlet. Is this your Riding Hood? Then it hit me. Maybe this is my chance. Maybe now I can see him without his hood on. Red! I whipped off the hood at the speed of light. Are you telling me he has two of them? One on him and one with him? Alright! I turned on he had another Riding Hood on under the first one. Yeah, okay. You know, I'm not gonna question it. You jerk! You made me get my hopes up for nothing! His face was still bead red as he scooped at me. Are you okay? You look really flushed. Then it hit me. Maybe his face is flushed because he's uncomfortable with women. If we choose he's going down with something, we would go for bad ending too, by the way. Actually, you have to read all the bad endings to get a full 100% on this game. I'm not going to do that though. Like, they don't give that much. It's like, as far as I'm aware, they don't really give much. So let's just go for the true. It's like there's several bad endings and then just one true ending to a route all the time. So, oh, I should have saved that though. Oh well. Maybe you're not a Frigidaire after all. Maybe just a shy boy who doesn't know how to interact with girls. He's just going off now. Oh, come on. You know how in anime there's a tsundere and kudere and stuff? It's like that. Besides, for all you know, Frigidaire could have been invented by a man. This is the most he's spoken to us. And this is like the first time he actually has some emotion in his voice. Whoa, are you okay? Out of nowhere he clutched at his nose as blood gushed forth. I'm literally wearing clothes. Okay. I heaved myself to my feet and wrapped Red's Riding Hood around myself. Granted, I'd only fallen into the shallows, but I was still soaked from top to bottom and I was freezing. Shivering in the winter winds, I attempted to assess the situation. Upon touching my wrist in order to help me to my feet, Red flipped out and lost his usual composure. Maybe the reason he always kept his distance from me wasn't that he didn't like me specifically. Maybe he just wasn't comfortable around women in general. Oh no, that's so cute. Oh no. Okay, Red, I'll keep my distance. Okay, I swear. For now, let's just go home. Let's go home and get sick, because going swimming in the winter air is probably not a good idea. And so I sneezed for the upteenth time that day. Ugh. As soon as we got home, I lit a fire, took a shower and changed into dry clothes. Sadly, my body had yet to stop shivering. My head was all fuzzy too.
Miss Alice.
Yes. I turned to Red standing just outside the living room. Alright, thank you for letting me borrow your riding hood. I'll be sure to wash it before I give it back. Hmm? Having gained his sanity, Red now averted his gaze awkwardly. What is it? Well, that's okay. Red, could we at least have this conversation in the same room? Evidently he was too on guard to come any closer. You've got nothing to be embarrassed about, come on. I pat the spot next to me on the sofa. Please? I'll tilt my head trying to be cute. Apparently he's immune to feminine wiles.
大丈夫ですか？
Thanks. They actually don't. They do not say bless you or anything like it in Japan when someone sneezes because they apparently don't, have that belief that you would wish someone help when they sneeze. Which is why I felt really awkward. Like, imagine you're always used to saying bless you when someone sneezes, and then you're in a place for 3 weeks. And like you just get completely ignored when you sneeze. Everyone else, like when someone else sneezes, you want to say something, but then you remember, oh, no one else is saying something. They would just look at you awkwardly when you say bless you, There's no word for it. They just don't say bless you to someone when they sneeze. So it's just me and my friend. Whenever one of us sneezed, we would obviously tell the other person, like, oh, bless you. And everyone else was just like, she just sneezed. Why are you saying bless you? Or like, what's that about when they didn't speak English or German? Which makes sense. Most Japanese people definitely do not speak German. That was fun. I'd really like to stop sneezing soon.
もしかして風邪をひかれたのでは？
No shit. Me, no way. But then again, I've had the chills for a while now.
それは風邪の初期症状です。いいから今日はもうお休みください。
Yes, I'm cold all over right down to my heart, but I bet I'd warm up if you'd give me a big hug.
断る。
Jeez, I was joking. You don't have to shoot me down so hard. Feels like I have no mental filter now. I'm just babbling nonsense. That and my face is flushed and my breathing is labored. Almost like his overreaction and the lake rubbed off on me.
ミスアリス。
Fred. Uh-oh. Feeling suffocated, I looked to him for help, but the words wouldn't come. All I could do was struggle to breathe.
そんな熱っぽい目で私を見るな。勘違いするだろう。
One wrong idea. I'm sick, bro. For some reason, this sent Red into a fluster. That's weird. Why is he all fuzzy? That was the moment my consciousness faded. Ooh. Well, that's a bad cold if you actually faint. Oh, boy and me. Right from the first day we met, if you can call it that, he started coming to talk to me every day without fail. It didn't matter how hard I ignored him. Just when I thought he'd drown in a towel for good. For some reason, he launched into a story of his own volition. I was so baffled. The cold shoulder had worked just fine on everyone else, so what made this one so different? As soon as he caught sight of me, he'd follow me around and talk at me endlessly. Then once he was satisfied, he would leave of his own accord. He talked to me about his beloved grandmother, about martial arts, about books he read. He even called me up on the latest neighborhood gossip. As I listened to him talk, I had to fight the urge to reply. Unlike me, he seemed to have a fun and exciting life, and he didn't seem like one of the wicked wolves my mother described. But if I wanted to say a precious angel, then I couldn't disobey her. How? I stopped and turned back. No one had ever said that to me before. In response, he shot me a goofy grin. Eh?
決して仲間外れにされたからじゃない。俺たちはそうしたいからそうしてるだけなんだ。要は信念ってやつだな。
Frankly, I didn't understand what he meant. Rational, smart, self-reliant. Was that how the rest of the world saw me? Not only that, but he thought we were comrades. Comrade, a companion who shares one's activities or beliefs. Peace in a pod, in other words. But what did that mean? We didn't look alike, nor did we think alike, nor did we enjoy the same things. But if he thought me a comrade, then clearly we had to have something in common. I didn't know what that something was, but if we were so alike, then surely it was safe to make an exception for him. Uh-oh. But we won't get to see the continuation of that story for quite a while, I guess. I woke to find myself in bed. Where am I?
あなたは今で倒れたんですよ。
I did? Forcing my fuzzy brain to search my memories, I realized I could only recall sitting in front of the fireplace and nothing beyond. Did you carry me here?
ええま
Well, I'm guessing he had to carry us. I doubt he levitated us into the bedroom, you know? How?
別に変なことなんてしてないぞ。
That's not what I was worried about. I'm just wondering how you managed to carry me to the bedroom. Considering that you do not like to touch me. Your voice is cracking.
そのあなたのことを抱き上げて
That's actually, I think that's the sprite I like the most of him. That one's cute. He mimed the action with his hands. Looks like he's describing a bridal carry. You physically carried me, even though it made you uncomfortable. Thanks. That means a lot. As I smiled, his face burned bright red. Dang it! Red bridal carried me and I don't remember it? I'm gonna regret this for the rest of my life!
気分はどうですか？
That's the second favorite. I still feel a little
タオ
flush.
ルを変えましょうか。
Yes, please.
わかりました。ではこちらにタオルを
Oh, I see, now it's back to the not coming too close. You want me to throw it at you?
はい。
You just can't bear to go near me, is that it? He stiffened. It is fever draining my energy. I really wasn't up to the task, so I sought a compromise. How about this? I face the other way while you come and grab it from me. Would that work for you?
それなら
With his consent granted, I set the washcloth on my pillow and turned my body away from it. There in the silence, I heard him swallow hard. Then slowly but surely, I heard him approach. Oh my fucking god. Bro, just take it! You sound like a total perfect!
しょうがないだろうというか話しかけるな。
Okay, whatever.
取ったぞ。
He shouted in triumph. Cool. Congrats. I plucked him from under the covers and turned back in his direction. He had taken, or should I say snatched, the washcloth from me and plunged it into a pail. Pail? What's a pail? Pail. Pail? Oh, that's literally just a word for bucket. Huh, I did not know that. Good to know. He must have done this for me countless times while I was sleeping, and I bet it took all of his courage too. The thought made me so happy I couldn't help but grin from ear to ear. Oh hey, where did this flower come from? That was when I noticed a pretty red flower sitting in a vase on my bedside table. It looked a bit like a rose, except softer and less intimidating. This is a carnation, isn't it? It's so cute. Did you put this here for me?
余計なお世話かとは思いましたが。
I like carnations. They're less intimidating roses. He must have purchased it from the flower shop. His thoughtfulness warmed my heart. Thank you.
いえ、私は大したことは。
But I stopped him. I really appreciate it. Aww. He pulled his hood low over his eyes, probably to hide his embarrassment. It's been a while since I last caught a cold.
すみません。私の責任です。私があなたを
It's okay, it
湖に突き飛ば
happens.
したばかりに。
It's not your fault. If anything, it was my fault for screwing around with you. I'm sorry. And for the record, you don't have to stand on ceremony with me. Just speak your mind.
そういうわけにはいきません。
You managed to speak your mind just fine earlier, so do it. We're living under the same roof, aren't we? We're comrades, if only for the short term.
仲間ですか？
Yeah. He probably closed his eyes.
私は群れるのは嫌いです。
You prefer to go it alone?
一人の方が余計なことを考えずに済みます。
Wouldn't you ever think more when you're alone, though? Like you're doing right now.
絞りましたよ。あっちを向いていてください。それとも投
Are
げ
you
つけられ
going
た
to
いです
put a
か？
washcloth on me if I'm supposed to turn away from you? I obediently turned away. Please stop breathing so hard! Once again, Red slowly approached me, breathing heavily. If anyone saw us right now, they'd probably think he was about to have his way with me or something. I waited until he was really close, then flipped onto my back. As he screamed, he dropped the washcloth directly onto my face. You know, Yurika, you kind of deserve that one. Oh, that feels nice, actually. The cloth felt cool and refreshing against my flushed skin. Beside me, Red clapped both hands over his face and curled into a fetal position. So nice to scream at a helpless little girl. I didn't even touch you. Why suddenly? Fight or flight response. Seriously? I rolled my eyes. Glancing around awkwardly, Red began to fish for a change of subject. Oh, he made food for us. You did? Thank you. This was so unexpected, I perked right up. Oh, I was your first time? I'm honored. Why would you say that? No! No, Yonika! He echoed my words suggestively, but immediately responded with a smile. What's the matter? Yurika, you're a menace. So, where's the porridge? It's cold now? He hesitated. Then reluctantly he fetched a pot of porridge from the table and lifted the lid to show me. Wow, it all looks and smells so unique. Normally porridge was meant to be white in color, but this one had turned a dingy brown. No, don't. I want to try it. I'm so hungry I'm dying. I mean, what if it does smell good, right? Sometimes food might look unappetizing, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Now, how do I eat this? Had no strength left in my body. How was I supposed to get up and go to the dining room? What? Just take a spoon and eat it in bed? What the fuck? Hey, Red. Could you feed it to me? You know the say ah thing where the healthy person feeds the weaker person? It's a pretty common trope, I feel like. Yeah, come on. Ah. I closed my eyes and opened my mouth. I feel like both of your minds are so deep in the gutter. Like, I can't even help you anymore. I opened my eyes to find Red peeking out from behind the door, blushing beet red. Well, how else am I supposed to eat? It's true. Oh yeah, is that how you want to play this? Well, two can play at that game. I'm so dizzy all of a sudden. I think my cold is getting worse. I'm not lying, you meanie. Can you please just feed me? If getting sicker won't work and crying won't work, then all that's left is to beg. Once again, I closed my eyes and opened my mouth. But no matter how long I waited, no porridge came. I opened one eye to find him bent over me, leaning his upper body as far back as possible as he pointed a spoonful of porridge at me. I took that opportunity to seize my wrist and steal the spoon into my mouth. I ate it from a spoon. It's good. I swallowed the ice-cold porridge and licked my lips. You should try a bite. Your nose is bleeding again. A stream of blood trickled down his face. Let me know. I don't remember this game being this awkward. Let me get your tissue. Here, use this. What's lewd about the word tissue? I decided not to ask what he was envisioning. Meanwhile, blood gushed from his nose. I learned one thing from this. Red's mind was as perverted as a 12-year-old boy's, or maybe worse. He held the pot away from himself to avoid contaminating the food. Meanwhile, the red river continued to flow down his hands and face. Please get something to at least, you know, get the blood. It's not nice. Nosebleeds are one of... Personally, nosebleeds, one of the worst things that can happen to you. I'll take the porridge. In the meantime, stare at the ceiling until your nose stops bleeding. Do not. Do not. You're not supposed to put your head back. You need to look down. Down. When your nose is bleeding, you need to get the blood out. So look down. Do not attempt to put your head back. It's going to flow down your throat, which is highly upsetting for your stomach and can actually make it way worse. Like, congratulations, your nose is bleeding. You know what else is going to happen? You're going to throw up because you have upset your stomach. Because you tried to put your head back. Don't do that. Always forward and down. Let the blood flow out. Also, put something cold in on your neck, on the backside of your neck, if you can. Oh man. Unable to bear another second, I decided to take control of the situation. He handed me the pot of porridge, clutched his nose and tilted it. Don't tilt! That's the word I was searching for, but yeah, don't tilt your head back. Please, game, that's not... Is that helping? I gave him a moment to calm down before I spoke. You really can't handle being around girls, huh? Dude, also do not do that to your nose. That's not good for the blood either. It needs to flow. I'm telling you this as a resident nosebleed expert. Do not do that. You sure about that? I smirked playfully. Okay. I smiled and nodded. Okay. Will you stay with me? Well, he's still doing his job. Oh, you're embarrassed. No, not at all. Looking back, was he actually as embarrassed as I thought he was? Or was it just delirious from my fever? Oh, you developed that fever pretty quickly, huh? The next morning I woke up and headed off to cook breakfast and prepare our lunches for the day, same as always. You literally are sick! Also, hey, he's wearing different clothes. I'm fine. I was in the kitchen humming while I peeled potatoes. Today I was planning to make I'm not pronouncing that. A thick soup traditionally served cold. Just as I was debating whether to make gratin for our lunches. Ugh. Ugh. It's no big deal. Why did you change clothes? I mean, I like it, but why did you do that? I need to make the lunches and I need to cook for you. Yes, I want to do the most I can, which is not very healthy, but sure. I just want to do the most I can, that's all. Me! Truthfully, I'm probably just doing it for my own sake. I want to feel needed, you know? I want everyone to praise me and tell me I'm an angel. Not to make excuses or anything, but I get the feeling this world is full of people who feel the same way. What about you, Red? Valid. I put in a half-peeled potato and exhaled. I wasn't disappointed or anything, just short of breath. It was proof the sickness was still taking its toll on my body. You're right, I should call out sick today.
賢明です、ミスアリス。そこをどいてください。
Peeling potatoes first thing in the morning when you're still sick does take a lot out of you. But I can handle it, I don't have a fever anymore.
いいから休んでいてください。
Like literally, I got that shot last week. Like it's literally been an entire week. And I still feel exhausted. So I guess maybe that's just mentally. Because like as soon like I got my vaccine shot in the early afternoon, and like right after was perfectly fine. You know, it takes a while, I guess. But when I went to bed that day, oh my fucking god, did I start feeling awful. And that did continue the entire weekend. Hi, new, have we dated any pretty men yet? We are trying to date this one. This one is apparently scared of touching women though. You get your first one tomorrow, hopefully. Ooh! Which one? I hope you don't have any bad what are they called? You know, side effects. It's not nice. I was like, yes, finally vaccine. And you know the side effects are common, but it still sucks to get them. Azai, how are you doing, Guardian? Is Guardian okay? I never know. I feel like the entire thing is just so long to say. He shooed me away.
ちなみに食欲はありますか?
I could eat.
ならソファーにでも座っていてください。
Oh, are you going to cook something else? You going to cook for me?
昨日のおかゆ程度の料理でよろしければ。
Listen, as long as you don't try to mix your canned meat in it, I think it'll be fine. Yay!
何を喜んでいるのですか。早くここから出て行ってください。出ないと何も用意できません。
Okay. Resisting the urge to hug him, I backed up a few steps as Red picked up my half-peeled potato and continued on in my stead. Red, that's not safe. You have to keep your thumb above the plate. Blade. Say the full thing. Guardian dream, Guardian. Okay. Guardian's perfectly fine. Okay. Gonna go with that then. If that's fine for you. He pointed a knife at me and I responded. Okay. It's like I do that sometimes though. When I'm in the kitchen and I'm helping with something and I have a knife, it's like I have to. We have a very small kitchen. I have to tell you guys this. We have a very small kitchen. It's like when someone comes in and you're like, okay, I have to get over there, and they don't really react. It's like, I have a knife, move. Obviously, without actually getting the knife anywhere close to the other person, lest something actually happens. But it's always like, I have a knife, I'm not afraid to use it. Ouch. The breakfast menu changed from, however you say that, to baked potatoes and canned meat. In the morning? Honestly, warm food in the morning, not my thing. Well, obviously, as a resident non-breakfast haver, any food at all, but like warm food. The only warm thing I might eat in the morning is like if you make yourself a toast, right? If you toast it, technically that is warm. But like full on cooked food. This canned stuff isn't half bad. In front of me was a tin of meat and a plate of potatoes. Oh, this corned beef goes great on top of the potatoes. I should try to cook something with this sometimes. As I learned from yesterday's porridge, the canned meat was heavily seasoned, which made it a perfect match for something plain and starchy. Starchy? As usual, Red ate his meal in silence. I forgot if I asked you before, but do you eat the stuff every day, usually?
そうですね。
That is not balanced. And you don't get bored of it?
別に外食することもありますし。
Ooh, fancy. Fancy boy eats out. Yeah? What do you order?
ハンバーガーなど。
Well, I mean, you cannot go wrong with those. Ooh, that sounds good. So which is your favorite of the two, mackerel or corned beef?
コンビーフ。
I see, you must be a real carnivore then.
あなたと話していると誘導尋問にかけられている。
You are literally the cop in this conversation though. Yeah, I know. I do it on purpose. I smile brightly.
私は肉料理が好きです。
He sighed reluctantly. Gotcha. In that case, I should cook us some meat sometime. What else do you like to eat? What?
なんでもないです。
You said something. Say it again. After breakfast, I sat down on my bed and fawned over the carnation Red had bought for me.
そんなにその花がお気に召したのですか。
I mean, it's a gift from you, a present. Of course, I love it.
そうですか。
He briskly prepared my medicine as well as a glass of water.
薬を飲んでまた寝てください。
I swallowed the medicine and flopped down on my side. But I'm not sleepy.
それでも寝てください。
Go to sleep anyway. If you're sick, sleep is the best. Sleep is always good, though. Could you tell me a story or something?
私はあなたの使用人ではありません。
Will you do it if I ask again? Yeah, I know that. You're my friend.
友人でもありません。
No? Okay, then you're my guardian. And I don't mean parental figure.
わかっています。あなたもしつこいですね。
I know, right? I showed him a smug
褒め
grin.
ていません。
Hehe, are you afraid of catching my cold?
問題ありません。
Ooh, somebody's a badass. I gave him a round of applause.
私はあなたと違って体力があります。
You're a man after all, man.
ええ、そうです。
Here's my number 2 pet peeve in Otome games, despite how much I love them. Number 1 is all men are wolves. Ooh, be careful if you're alone with a man because you're a woman, which ties into my number 2 pet peeve. I'm a man, you're a woman. You are weak, I'm strong. Like, even if they make the most badass female character, this is still a Japanese Otome game. I shouldn't expect anything else, but I'm still let down. Woo! Yeah, you're a man, I guess. I never really thought about it. I made sure to emphasize his masculinity. Walk back in the stream after going to pee. Nu is my favorite. Be me. Oh yeah, Nu is very cute. I'm watching her on the side. You do the thing at the end. You did the thing again. But I'm glad that you are here, even while Moriko is doing her celebration stream. I'm proud of her. I'm really happy for her. Like, if I had streamed yesterday, I mean, obviously today is Wednesday, but if I had streamed yesterday, I would have been, I would sit in her stream right now. Like, fucking, hello? She's partner now. I'm so proud of her. It's okay. It's okay. Happens. Come to think of it, you must get bored of sitting around while I'm sleeping. Feel free to come and go as you please.
あなたは私を信用しすぎなのでは。私は警察官とはいえ、この家の人
You
間
wonder
で
how
はあ
many
りませ
Otome
ん。
games I've seen a male Red Riding Hood in. Oh? Have you seen a male Red Riding Hood in other Otome games? I don't think I've actually seen any others yet. I know, no, but you are technically my roommate, at least for now. Also, why would someone who's literally a police officer say, okay, but be careful? Like, he is working right now. And he's telling me, oh, but I'm still a man, be careful. You are a police officer. Shouldn't I feel safe with you? ACAB, should I not feel safe with a police officer guarding me? Why would a police officer say shit like this? Oz Mafia had one. Oz Mafia had a Red Riding Hood? I never finished Oz Mafia because frankly it was so boring. Oz Mafia had a Red Riding Hood. Really? Scarlet. Oh, the small one. Yeah. I didn't even get to his route. Ah, right. True. Well, that makes him... Well, that's 2 Red Riding Hoods then. Police officers feeling safe, pick one. Yeah, I'm... Crunch so hard, that's good though. I saw something yesterday where it was like, oh, squat down in front of your door and like put one hand on the door handle, the other on your knee, and like push the knee and then push your body in the other direction to like really make your body crack. Didn't work for me. My body can crack anytime, like, you know, this kind of thing. But that did not make me crack. I was like, come on, I want my back to crack. It didn't work, sadly. Gamer body. I've been living with you for almost a week. I think you're not a bad person. Are you? Of course not. Cops are go. Yeah, Eureka. I'm just gonna ignore it. Besides, I trust you. I know. Thank you, Duolingo. You haven't been on stream in quite a while. Side eyes. Is that against the rules? I only know one thing in German. Oh. My God, Mustache! Very fitting, though. Very fitting. And without it, someone would have taken advantage of me when I was that it. Our woman, pure-hearted damsels who exist to be preyed upon. I will beat you up right now, Mr. Red Riding Hood. I swear to fucking God. I don't even know what that means. I only know Vettel said it once. He wasn't very happy when he said it. Yeah, it's like, imagine someone very exasperatedly saying, like, if you were to translate it, it's just like, my God, do we really have to do this? Like, is that needed? Along those lines is how I would translate it right now. So it's like, oh God, are you kidding me? Why is this happening? That kind of thing. Like, I imagine he said it in that way because that's how I would read it. Right, if you pin me down, I wouldn't stand a chance of fighting you off. For the record, though, some of us want to be preyed upon. Oh, okay. I smell a what? Not a great cross from Sebastian Vettel. What are you doing here, racing or ping pong? He screamed at me. His face is red as a tomato. Don't forget, some girls are hunters too. Mr. Big Bad Wolf doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't stand. No, I said it right. Stand a chance. Bang bang. What kind of weird play is this? You know, technically this guy's protecting us because we've been threatened for a while now. But yesterday we went to the lake with him because she's trying to get closer to him. And while trying to stand up, he caught us, but then flipped out because he has trouble getting close to women and then threw us in the lake. By accident. So now we're sick. And now we know that he gets very easily... We can very easily rile him up. And Yurika definitely isn't like as innocent or anything, but... I don't know what kind... Throwing someone in the lake, as you do, it's like... He like pushed us away from him because he was flipping out because we were so close. And we landed in the lake. I took aim with an imaginary hunting rifle and fired. Oh. He clutched at his chest with both hands. Wait, what? And that was the moment Red passed out on the floor. Huh? I didn't know you were a mime. What? This game had some other weird moments already? Yeah, true. It does. Dating game where you place a girl and pegging is an option. Too bad. The R18 Otome game market is pretty empty. Like, I guess some of them exist in Japanese. We have like 2 in English by now. Translated by the very same person that also translated this game. There's only a few translated ones, yeah. Took a lot of shit for someone pegging rich. You know of 3? Okay. I know... Oh god, I don't know the names anymore. Hold up. The one with this... I don't even know how to describe it. The one with the alien girl who comes to Earth that came out... when did that come out? End of last year or this year or something? It's not been that long yet. Hold up. This is horrible. Why do I not know my Otome games anymore? I started playing that game. Okay, wait. The one I mean is literally called, and don't kill me, Twitch. It's called Fuck Me Royally, Horny Magical Princess. Exactly what it says on the tin. Exactly what it says on the tin. Which, like, good for her. Good for her. Fashioning him is lonesome. The bell chimes for gold. Ah, the bell chimes for gold. True. True. Bell chimes for gold, I think, is one where I don't think the art style is very appealing to me. Bell chimes. Is that the one? Bell chimes for gold. Yeah, that's the one where the art style isn't really appealing to me. That's why I passed on that one, but the other 2 I have. Dating game, but your objective is to stay single. Survival dating. You know, when you do that, you usually end up on the bad end of some route. I played Fuck Me Royally, don't worry. Me too. Like, I started playing it. I have not finished it yet. And I don't know, actually, when was the last time I played it? On the 1st of March. Wow. I didn't even finish an entire route. Sad. Bell chimes for gold's a lot more focused on older man. I'm shelling people pretty. Listen, I'm sure there's a market out there. You know, there's always some people prefer this, some people prefer that, but same. I like my anime boys to be pretty and like If I say I like them young, it's going to be taken out of context, but I said it, so it's already going to be taken out of context. In anime games, I preferred my dateable man to look attractive, pretty, and like, you know, around young adult, pretty. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. Young adult, pretty man. That's also why I like them in this game. Even though this is a little awkward, and also they're all kind of traumatized by something apparently, which is why I'm going to try and read this one still. Like this entire dream sequence or whatever it is, and I think then we'll stop for today. After we met at the lake and he acknowledged me as a comrade, we would play together every day. I'm not in the game. Oops. There we go. No. One day he invited me over to his house. Uh-oh. When we arrived, his grandmother was there to greet us. Oh, boy. As soon as she saw me, she reached out with a wizened hand and stroked my hair. No one ever touched me in that way before, so on instinct I swatted her hand away. Hey! Out of nowhere, he leapt at me. We got into a vicious scuffle, pulling each other's hair and clawing at each other's faces. Our fight ended the same way it started, with grandmother's hands. As we pinched each other's cheeks, she swatted us both over the head, and so the fight ended in a draw. Yeah, there's something for everyone out there. Like, obviously some stuff will have more content for it and some less, but that doesn't make it any better or worse than the other. In fact, the man, S-word? Slut? Wait, what S-word are you talking about? Pounding, he thrust out his hand. Once I reluctantly apologized, grandmother seized my hand and pressed it against his in a forced handshake. Ah, okay, okay. Look at this. Lud. Slut. Salut? She smiled brightly. Cake! 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 Oh, I haven't had cake. No, that's not true. I was about to say I haven't had cake in a long time, but I literally had cake at my grandma's birthday 2 weeks ago. I wish I had some cake right now. From the way he smiled, you'd never guess the two of us were bickering just moments ago. Unlike me, he was always so emotionally expressive. I envied that about him, and yet at the same time, part of me despised it. I nodded. It was a bit plain to be considered cake by most standards, but I was not familiar with cake to begin with, and it was my first time eating one. I wasn't store-bought. I savored every bite, cherishing it whilst I still had it. Grandmother seemed to realize this because she told me. You know what's weird about this game is like the entire premise is that you're going into a mirror world and everything is so fairy tale-esque, but this seems to be still a modern world. Like, they have phones at least. They go to school. All the backgrounds make it seem like it's set in the, I don't know, 1800s or something. But it looks to be pretty modern, right? But then you again have this weird hut out in the woods where some old lady lives. You know, in the end, it's gonna be all like, oh, you know, you were actually dreaming the entire time. Alice is just in a coma in the real modern world with phones and stuff. I don't actually know. Listen, if you know, don't tell me. I don't actually know. I am still unspoiled for the complete ending of this game. I literally only know this one. And I plan to keep it that way. When I fulfill my dream, I will be a rent boyfriend. A rental boyfriend. I think YouTube recommended me a video of that from someone trying out a rental boyfriend. From then on, grandmother made us dozens of cakes. Aha! This guy reminded me much of this, like the prognosis and common dreaming the entire series up fan theories. Me too. Me too. I'm not a big fan of those. Not at all. Like if there's some kind of fantastical... Wait, that's not how you say it in English. If there's like some kind of fantasy setup to it. Where it's like, okay, he may be dreaming in the real world, I guess, but it's actually happening. Like through his dreams, he connects to different worlds. Like that I can accept. What I don't like is the whole, you have an entire story that's happening. And then he wakes up and it was all a dream. Like that's... Just make it real. Just fucking make parallel worlds or something. But make it real. Don't just throw it off with a, oh well, it was actually just a dream. It's a metaphor for purgatory theories. Ah. Ash Ketchum never left on his journey. Oh god, don't know. How long has that one been around? Like ever since the anime exists or something, right? Like that has to be one of the earliest ones. I do enjoy the theory with the Ghibli movie My Neighbor Totoro, where it's all really deep about how both the girls are actually the ones on their way to, you know, death. Which is, you can see that because at one point they visit the mother with Totoro and are out on the trees, but no one notices them out there. They just feel something, and the cat bars is their way to the other world and everything. It's like, can you just fucking watch Totoro and have fun with it? Like, I enjoy theory crafting, but not everything has to be dark. Just let me enjoy my animated kids movie. New streams aren't real, we're just streaming along. Split point for the theory is like the very first episodes. It's probably been around since... Oh, it is? Well, thank you for the hydrate time and posture check. I have not actually... No, I have seen the first 3 episodes of Pokemon. Like, I was not a Pokemon kid because it was always on TV. It was on TV. It was on TV, but I was never home when it was on TV because I was one of those children who were stuck in like a day. That's not what it's called, but like after school in a daycare thingy. You know, for kids whose parents have to work until the evening and they don't get to stay at home on their own. Like, who would leave their 8-year-old child at home when they're not home? So I could never watch them. The anime that were on TV during lunch break and stuff. Why do you disappear when I take my meds? Hey! Hey! I'm still here! Don't ignore me. He was always wearing a cloak of some kind, and truth be told was really badass. Apparently his grandmother could do just about anything from baking to sewing. He loved her so much he would brag about it constantly, and in due time I grew attached to her as well. One day I was playing at his house as per usual when his grandmother waved me over. They both had big grins on their faces. Before I could question it, however, a bundle of fabric fell over my head. My vision was obscured by pure scarlet and I began to panic. I wonder whose dreams this is. All of a sudden I could see again. What exactly looked good at me I wasn't sure, but I could tell there was something on my head. It was a bit uncomfortable, but at the same time really warm. Then grandmother clued me in on the mystery. He clapped me on the back. Oh, I wonder what other character in this game also walks around with a hood all the time. Oh, my choice of this. Stop telling people I'm dead! She smiled gently. Suddenly tears sprang to my eyes. Wanting to hide my flushed face, I grabbed the hem of my new hood and pulled it low over my eyes. Then it choked at a tiny whisper. Aww, baby. From then on, that riding hood became my prized possession. Ah, look at that! It's him! Once upon a time, there lived a lonesome boy and a sole comrade. One day, his comrade's grandmother sewed him a riding hood made from fine red velvet. The riding hood suited him well, and from that day forward, everyone referred to him as Little Red Riding Hood. Oh! End of dream sequence? Ah, end of dream sequence. I woke to find the room ever so faintly. The sky outside my window was a pale orange hue, nearly dawn. Evidently a good 12 hours had passed. How do you know that? When Red passed out, I'd used all my strength to drag him into bed. After that, I was so wiped that I fell asleep almost instantly. Why did he pass out, you ask? Because he caught my cold. Good fucking job, you guys. Ooh. Now that I was awake, I realized Red had latched onto me, locking me into place. In essence, he was using me as a hug pillow. Oh dear. I pressed a hand to his forehead, then to my own, comparing our temperatures. Not like I can tell the difference. Granted, I was feeling a lot better, but that doesn't necessarily mean I was out of the woods just yet. Plus, now my temperature was rising for a different reason entirely. I sighed, conflicted. I had no idea how I was going to extricate myself from the situation. I could feel a steady breath tickling the top of my head. The top of your head. Someone should have given that artist a better direction. Thankfully, the color had returned to his complexion, so perhaps he was already on the road to recovery. Knowing him, the second he wakes up, he'd probably scream his head off, and by probably, I mean definitely. Then he shoved me off the bed, and probably bashed my head on a side table. Yep, I can see exactly how this will play out. Will you wake him? No, we will let him wake up naturally, because sleep is good to get over your... Screw that skull time. No, we want him to get over his cold. And he needs to save to do that. Save? He needs to sleep. I need to save. Jesus Christ. I decided to stop fighting it. He looks so peaceful right now, I hate to ruin it for him. It was then that I realized my palms had gotten sweaty. I sure hope I don't stay. I tried to sniff myself, but I couldn't really smell anything. Listen, Yurika, if you are able to smell your own smell, then it's bad. As he held me in his arms, I gazed up at his handsome face. We had only just met a few days ago. True. But after everything that had happened, suddenly it felt like I'd known him all my life. On the outside he maintained a stoic facade, but on the inside he was shy and easily flustered. I giggled to myself. Thinking back, I never would have imagined the real him was so drastically different from his outward persona. I reached up and stroked his head through the fabric of his hood. Were he conscious, he would surely protest, but right now it was a different story. In fact, I felt him hug me tighter, almost as though he were preventing my escape. Red. Oh, that's a cute CG though. Oh? Red? He groaned in his sleep. Oh. Oh? Oh. He's having a nightmare. A single tear rolled down his cheek. I reached out and wiped the tear away with my index finger, then pressed my forehead to his. I forgive you. Just then, all of a sudden I heard a tiny tinkle of bells outside my window. Uh-oh! What's that jingling? At first I thought maybe it was a cat or something, but then I remembered. The night we discovered the keys had been stolen, Red set up an intruder alarm. One that involved a series of small bells. Red! Wake up! Red! I shook him vigorously by the shoulders. Red! I could see a dark shadow contrasted against a brilliant orange sky, but I knew it was no mere shadow. It was a big bad wolf with big pointy ears. Who's there? In response to my scream, the wolf in shadow darted away. Oh. Finally roused by my voice, Red slowly lifted his heavy lids. Gradually his eyes grew wide and wider until... There it is! Karate chop him! Calm him down. I hastily attempted to calm him down. Relax, okay? Relax! He says with his hand in my hair. I mean, this is my bedroom, so... Here's a tissue just in case. A preemptive decision in the event of another nosebleed. Canoodling! Canoodling! Well, you see... No. I had a feeling you would take this in that direction. Red. Why do you get all stiff? Oh, there it is. Right on cue, a torrential nosebleed gush. Listen, bro, you need to get that checked out. Losing that much blood cannot be good for you. At this point, I was neither frightened nor turned on. My only option was to wait until he recovered. After a few minutes of gazing into each other's eyes with our arms around each other. Feeling calmer now. He nodded. You're telling me he has a nosebleed, but one single tissue is enough. And then it's over? Good for him. Cannot relate. You passed out from a high fever. I'm guessing you caught my cold after all. And obviously I couldn't just leave you there on the floor, so I got you into bed and then I sort of passed out myself. Must be a powerful tissue. Maybe it's a really big tissue. He nodded a second time. He keeps staring at me like he's begging for me to explain how we ended up like this. Let me guess, you're confused as to why we're cuddling. This time he nodded vigorously. Evidently he hadn't even been conscious of it. But Red, that's because he refused to let me go. As soon as it finally clicked in his brain, Red leapt out of bed at full speed. Whew. Freed from his embrace, I sat up and adjusted my clothes. I glanced over at Red to find him opening and closing his fists almost like he was testing some. Red. When I called out to him, he snapped back to reality. In an instant, his face flushed bead red. At this pain, his hood was white first, but his nose bleed soft. He's like, I always have a tissue with me. At this point, I was starting to get a bad case of secondhand embarrassment, so I pointedly averted my gaze. After a long and downright suffocating moment of silence, Red finally spoke. Yes. For what? Nothing happened. What? No. By this, you mean sharing a bed with me? Oh no. You shared the bed with me. Honestly, it's no big deal. Just sort of happened, that's all. We just shared a bed, nothing more to it. Were you hoping for more? Oh, Jesus Christ, Yurika. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Red, I think the culprit was here. Yeah, maybe you should have started off with that. Yeah, it was the wolf. At this, his expression shifted instantly. There, just outside the window. He opened the window and looked. Yeah, they're not going to find anyone now.
あなたはここで待っていてください。私は外を見回ってきます。
Like, sorry, after all that horsing around, they're not going to find anyone. What if something happens to me while you're gone?
全言撤回します。あなたは私から離れずについてきてください。
Okay, understood.
あ、ちなみに私の半径1メートル以内に入らないでください。
I don't know how much 4 feet are, but I'm actually going to take this as a good point to, you know, save, because now the first situation is over, I guess. And we are in a different place. Because this is, I'm guessing this is where it really picks up again next time. Come on, try and do new things, but I still get stuck at the start. Like, I'm like, oh shit, if I make this stuff like. Oh, I know that feel though. I know that feeling when it's like, oh, I want to do stuff, but it has to be perfect. I know it's hard, but don't try to hang yourself up on it. Like, believe me, I know what that's like. It's like, it's really hard to keep at something if you're not immediately happy with it, but it's worth it. Like for me, I think the one thing I try to keep at and continuously get better at is drawing. Because I've been drawing for quite a few years, I'm still not where I want to be. I also know that sure is because I don't actively do that much, and you do not magically get better at something. It is when I got my degree. Still working at 12 hours from the deadline, even though it was good. Ah, I see. Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like you can do too much, but also after the deadline, if you didn't do, or like you could do as much as you wanted, after the deadline you're still going to feel like it's not enough. But that's just it. That's just what happens. You cannot help that. At some point you need to step back from something and say enough. Enough. It's what I do with art. It's like I draw something, and then at some point when I feel like I'm not getting anywhere with it, I stop. At least with that particular piece. If I feel like it, I'm going to pick it up some other day and try again, you know? There was a piece actually that I had worked on like last month, I think. And I didn't really finish it. I didn't have the time. I didn't finish it. And then when I went to pick it up again, I wasn't at all... I didn't like where it was going. So I technically started over. I did the entire line art again. Even though I had lined the entire thing last time I was working on it. But I did the entire line art again. And then I put down... I put down colors. Then I didn't like the line art anymore. So I did new line art. I had the colors. I fixed the colors a little because they didn't completely fit with the new line art anymore. And then I went ahead and did more stuff. Like I finished it because at some point I was like, I don't know what else to add. There's nothing to add. I don't know how else to make it look better. Let's just stop. You need to find that place where you can actually say to yourself, okay, stop. It's not going to get better. You have done enough. I talk like I'm an expert. I'm really not. I'm the same. It's just you have to just try and try again. And at some point you have to say, okay, it's not going to get any better. Let's stop it. Stop there. I am mildly upset right now. Completely unrelated to this. Because I'm looking at the heads of, you know, the two characters on the screen right now, and the highlights in the hair, that the circles do not match up. Obviously, the two different characters, why would they the highlights match up, but like they could have made it so the circle starts on her hair and goes over to, what's his name, Gretel, I think that one is. No, that's not Gretel. Who are you? Gretel is the one, as the brother. You're also not Snow White. Cinderella. This guy is Cinderella. They could have made it so it would be one big circle on both their heads. I don't know why that just bothered me right now. What it is. But yeah. There's still a few things left on his route. We've been going for almost 3 hours. Obviously on stream it's going to take us longer to get through a route. But that's okay. It's okay, we're getting somewhere. Now it's off topic. I'm opening a head. Ooh! Oh, that's cool though. That's really cool. I've never been to one, not even in Japan. I wanted to go, but the friend I was with, she was like, no, we can't. Let's not go to a maid cafe. That's so embarrassing. It's like, come on, bro. This is my first time in Japan. I want to see what a maid cafe is like. In the end, we actually never went because we didn't find the time. Imagine this 2024. Well, listen, if you don't drool. Also, I think if they're going to open a maid cafe, they're expecting the worst kind of people to come. There's nothing wrong with going somewhere alone, by the way. Going to eat somewhere alone. You've been in the presence of one. You mean on stream in a game right now? Because in Fatal 12 there was a maid cafe, or? Because yes. Maid cafes are a really nice way to lose lots of money in. Ha 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 ha. Do you ever want to spend lots of money for basically nothing? Go to maid cafe. I made a big deal of going places alone. For maid cafe though, sounds kind of Mr. I thought you said you saw maid cafe. Oh yeah, of course we saw. Yeah. I mean, we definitely did see maid cafes. They're kind of everywhere. They should expect the worst, otherwise they're going to have them. Right. It's like, it's a maid cafe. Obviously, you should still be a nice person when going to a maid cafe. Just because they are going to assume the worst kind of people are going to come in, it doesn't mean you have to also let yourself go. You should also be nice to the people working there, but still, I'm guessing they kind of expect people that may be socially awkward or whatever to come there. I think most... it's going to sound awkward, but like, I think most normal, and take normal here with a grain of salt, but most normal people wouldn't even know what a maid cafe is, so they wouldn't go there on purpose. Like like, unless they're searching for a cafe and they get, it has a good review or something, and I guess most normal people wouldn't enter a maid cafe. You shouldn't ask for maid juice unless it's something like a juice prepared by a maid that is on the menu. I don't think you should, no. I don't think you should. Okay. Who is talking to me? Why am I getting notifications on the Discord? Interesting. Okay. Actually, what do you guys think about Taisho Alice? Because I feel like the game really has a hard way of you know, getting started. Like this was just 3 hours, but it felt longer, and not in the good sense. It's like they throw you into the story and you just like I feel like the beginning of the story with Red Riding Hood is really awkward. It's like you get thrown into this thing. Okay, Yurika, rich girl, home alone, gets threatened, and you just watch her awkwardly get along with some cop who is now living with her, and she's kind of trying to flirt with him. Then at some point the that she's getting threatened doesn't matter anymore. And then suddenly it does, like right now. And then also the cop guy has a really deep backstory. All that in 3 hours. Feels longer than 3 hours, not gonna lie. Or maybe it's because I have read this one already. Maybe that's why it feels like that for me. Like, it is enjoyable, but now that I'm reading it for a second time, I feel like, wow. I don't know, it has some weird pacing, I guess. Like, are we getting somewhere? Why are we flirting with the cop now? Why are we not looking for the guy who's been threatening us? But that's okay. As long as we get to date him in the end. Wait. But you can read a bit weird. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you agree. Like, Yurika has a very wild card personality-wise. Like, she's definitely out there. And Red is just like, all the time he's completely stoic. Then now one event that the thing happens, and then it's just, oh, she has found one thing he's weak about. And it's just the same thing over and over. He gets a nosebleed. He is embarrassed. Then we get his backstory. Then he's embarrassed again. When before he was just literally like, But that's okay. It could be worse. It's not bad by any sense, but I think, yeah, the pacing is a bit off. Okay. But I like it. I think we're going to be able to finish his story next time. And then we can go for the other guy. The other guy who I think is Cinderella. I don't actually know. I think it's Cinderella. So, who am I going to send you guys to? Who should we raid? It's a Thursday. I don't know who's live on Thursday. I'm not used to people being live when I stream during the week. Oh, Blue is playing Valorant. And my Twitch is fucking up for some reason. Was a nice stream again. Yeah, I'm glad. On this totally Wednesday, by the way. And the next stream is going to be on totally Friday as usual, which is totally tomorrow, because Friday comes after Wednesday, as we all know. Oh yeah, why not? I'm going to send you guys over to Blue. Oh, posture check. Okay, wait, a posture check before we end. That's nice. We just shifted the week by 1 day, no problem, right? That's normal. I don't know what you mean. Night. Hold up. Let me just see. I don't want to accidentally walk in on And surprise blue, no. You know the worst thing? The worst thing is actually when you go to rate someone and they on the be right back screen and you're just like, huh, shit. I sure am at a bad time. Days aren't real. You are so right. There's no days. What? A week is just a week. Who cares? But yeah. Let's go. If we can shift the time by 1 hour, then we can shift the week by 1 day. I like your style. I like it. I like it. Gonna say that next time. Next time. When I get fucked by time zones and daylight savings. But yeah. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm gonna switch over to the ending screen just a second. Wow. And then I'm gonna turn off this. The song is nice, but you know, I'm gonna put on my usual song. There we go. And then I'm going to send you all over to Blue. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much for coming on this Wednesday. See you all tomorrow for a new game. Totori. A new game. Woo! A very good night. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.